Back in the paddock then, just seeing some of the karts get prepared for today's action. Let's head on into the Pro Train awning and see who we can find in here and have a quick chat with. We've got Shane Chandaria's kart being prepared here for racing later on today in Junior Rotax, and head further down as well, Ryan Hedge in here as well. A couple of the drivers getting ready for their racing here today. We'll see if we can have a little quick chat.
Hi.
How are we doing today, Shane?
Good, yeah.
Ready for racing?
Yes, I am.
How did yesterday go for you?
The qualifying was a bit difficult because I went out in traffic and in the rain, so it didn't really go too well. And in the heat, it was pretty good, but then there was a collision, and obviously that put me down. But I mean, today there's another day. The finals are still going to come today, so definitely hoping to do well for that.
It's not just been raining, but very mixed today. Have you had any times where it's been perhaps on the wrong tyre or slicks in the wet that's been tricky for you?
Luckily not. My mechanic, James, and the team have given me such a great, they've made great decisions, so I've not been put in that situation yet.
What would you be happy with as a result today?
I think for the heat, if I can get a top 10, just start me high up in the final. And final, I'd say top 8 would be a nice result to get.
Well, good stuff. We'll look out for you, Shane. Best of luck for the day's racing. We'll see you later on. Let's head out and further down into the paddock. It's an absolutely huge paddock here this weekend. 320 drivers on the entry earlier on in the week when I was preparing the notes for this one. As I say, we're going to have to hot march it fairly quickly down through this paddock, so we've not got a huge amount of time today. But great to see the SuperPrix being well supported. Very big day in the racing calendar for our Iame categories, of course, because they're competing for the E-plate today. Drivers will be able to display, well, drivers who win the E-plate, of course, will be able to display that on their karts at entries around the country for 12 months. And so it carries a lot of weight in the karting community, having one of those special plates. So as part of being a round of the Shenington Kart Racing Club season, of course, this is always an event with a bit more spice, and a lot of drivers here this weekend ahead of the Motorsport UK British Kart Championships here at Shenington in a week's time, that you'll be able to watch here on Alpha Live as well. So we're heading down through the paddock. Lucas Blanford's kart being prepared there and going out for a session. We'll see them out later on. The Jade Kart tent always very, very busy. Let's see if we can have a quick look in here and see who we can find, who's up for a bit of a talk with us here today. And I'll have a chat with a couple of drivers here. How are we feeling today, boys?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, all good.
How did yesterday go for you?
Yesterday was really good. I qualified third in group. Then the heat came and I had a bit of an incident. Went backwards and was facing the wrong way.
Being in one of those bigger categories, with Junior X30, if I'm right in saying it, how do you deal with the groups element of it? It's slightly different, isn't it, that you're not necessarily on with the same drivers all the way through your programme?
Yeah, it's difficult, especially going into the second heat after being in heat 1 yesterday, having older tyres, and some of the people who are on new tyres are being able to just get that little bit of an edge at the start.
What would be the hope for the final, qualifying through to that on a good spot?
Well, I'm not sure. I might have to be in the B final to start with after 2 bad heats. Maybe top 10 to come back to would be nice.
Yeah. But you can overtake round here. It's with the long straights and the big braking zone.
Yeah, being in Jade, a local team to here, done loads and loads of laps, so hopefully be able to cut back through.
Well, best of luck, mate. Good to see you out there later on for Junior X30. So let's head on through. A lot of competitive drivers, as we say, in the Jade Kart entry this weekend. But pretty much all of our big efforts, all of our big teams are here this weekend. In fact, here's a good example of an E-plate holder as going through. That's what the drivers in a number of the categories are competing for here this weekend. I want to have a quick chat, if I can, with some of the JDR team, because I think they're on for a good day, always strong in this part of the world. Let's see if we've got any drivers in here that we can have a quick discussion with who are looking up for a chat. Let's go for one of our younger drivers. In fact, sorry Luke, I'm cutting you around all over the place. We'll go in the far side. Have a chat with, say, one of the younger drivers in the younger categories. We'll have a chat with Finn here. Finn, how are we feeling for today?
Yeah, really good.
All set to go for the Rotax racing here today?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And just say apologies for interrupting yourself with Jack there. What were you looking at? Some data ahead of going out?
Yeah, we're looking at data just to compare what me and the other karts are doing on track.
Hopefully a bit of an easier day on tyre choice today. There's been a couple of spots of rain, but it's a bit warmer today.
Yeah, hopefully it stays dry today, hopefully.
Very good. Well, best of luck. I'll let you get back to your hard work there with Jack and the rest of the team. But good to see work underway here or there in the JDR camp. So the team based not too far down the road from here at Wilton Mill. There's also another team that I want to have a quick chat with, who I've been promising a little tour of their awning. It's the smaller version of their awning here today. And hopefully we'll be able to have a little bit of a chat with them further in another one of our events in a few weeks' time. In fact, a number of their karts heading out on circuit now. Jake Flewitt there heading out on circuit. Jake Woods as well. Morning, Jake. But I think they'll still have a couple of drivers further down in their awning. It's typical, isn't it, as you do one of these things as a sort of as live, just as I go to the JWR tent, half of their drivers disappear. Jake Howarth walking up towards his cars as well. We had a chat with him a few weeks ago. I can see Harry Pullen is getting ready for his racing today. We'll jump on him and have a little chat with Harry if that's all right. Harry, good to see you again. All ready for today?
Yeah. Just changed a few things. Yeah, I think we're about ready to go, really. A little bit chain.
I was out on circuit yesterday for the heat where you were all on slick tyres in the wet. Tell us a little bit about that. That looks a bit spicy.
Yeah, Shenny's nice in the wet. It's still nice and grippy. We went out. We had a bad qualifying. We had a bad set of tyres on, so that sort of hinders us a bit. And then went out for that first heat and ran out of talent a bit on the first corner. Spun it. So we were like last and that, and then I think, where do we finish? Fifth?
6 on track.
Fifth after penalties, yeah. So I ended up fifth after penalties, so it wasn't too bad really. But it wasn't too bad to drive really. It was just like being on the wets. I think it was like a 3.5 second difference from wets to slick. Slick's on the same kind of track.
Would you say this track dries quite quickly as well? That seemed to be what was happening.
It was ridiculous. I think the wind and the sun together was drying out really fast. I would have said the session after us, I would have gone out on slicks confidently. It was ridiculous.
Things looking a bit more stable today, though. What would be a good result for you here today?
One. Top 5 probably. Top 3 I'm hoping for. I think with the changes we've made, that should give us a bit more pace. But I think I could get a top 5 as long as I get a good result in this next heat.
Well, best of luck, mate. I know you'll give it your all, and have a good one.
Thank you very much.
Harry Pullen there, racing in the Rotax categories. Let's go further down and further round for a last interview or two before we wrap things up here for this particular bit of the paddock walk. As I say, it just keeps going and going and going and going, this paddock here this weekend. But an important weekend, that's why so many of these drivers have turned out for the 2023 Shenington SuperPrix, and great to have you with us as well if you're watching at home. See who we can find as well who might be up for a little chat. Let's have a little nose around in the Croc Promotions awning if they don't mind. Who can we find to have a chat with? We've got Ollie Stilp, of course, in this weekend, looking for our competitive run. I want to find another driver. Try and find thoughts of another driver before we head out. And for these guys in particular, being a very, very strong Iame X30 team, this is a very important weekend for them. We'll have a chat here with young Mr. Carter if he's all right. How are we doing?
Good, thanks.
All ready for racing here today?
Yeah. I mean, first heat was good, so only about can go forward in the next heat. So yeah.
The Croc Promotion kart's always running very, very strong. What's the hope for today?
Definitely top 10, I think. I know that I have the pace, so yeah.
What have you been working on in particular in preparations for SuperPrix this year?
Just like to be fast, and like I know that I can race. It's just to be fast. So yeah.
Would you say this is one of your favourites on the British kart scene, or?
It's a fast-flowing track, so yeah, I would probably say so. Yeah.
Good stuff. Who do you want to thank for preparing you ready for today?
I would like to thank my dad, Tom Grice, Dan Stilp, Simon Parker, and also my mum.
Very good. Well, best of luck, mate. We'll see you out there on circuit later on. I think we've got time for one quick more interview, perhaps. If we jump in the Mick Barrett tent very briefly. I think it's looking fairly quiet in Argenti. There's a bit of golf practice going on in there. In fact, we'll carry on. Let's head further down. I want to try and get another younger driver, if we can, before we wrap things up here. Maybe head down into Fusion and see who we can find in their awning here today. Of course, very, very successful team. We'll have a lot of strong runners in the Waterswift categories later on today, will Fusion. And so we'll probably wrap things up in here if we've got any drivers that we can have a chat with. In fact, let's head further down through the garage if we can. So always very impressive setup here within the Fusion Motorsport crew. A lot of drivers taking this time out as well just to prepare themselves, maybe watch a bit of action further along. We'll have a chat with a young driver here. How are we doing ahead of today?
Great.
Just having a bit of a watch of some footage there out on track.
Yeah.
What are you working on in terms of speed around this Shenington circuit?
Turning early.
Which are your favourite corners as well?
Cafe.
And kart running well so far this weekend?
Yeah.
What on setup have you been working on?
Grippy setup.
Very good. Have you had any driving in the rain so far this weekend?
Yeah.
How did you find that?
Good.
And last question is Fusion Motorsport team you like racing with?
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Well, best of luck for today, and we'll see you out on circuit later on. I think we'll probably wrap things up there for this part of the paddock walk. Thank you very much for being with us here on Alpha Live for the Shenington SuperPrix 2023, and keep it locked here on the channel for more. And welcome back to live coverage of the 2023 Shenington SuperPrix. Andrew Mather from Double Dash Motorsport Media on commentary duties for you here this afternoon. And we're getting ready for the first of our finals here today. It'll be the X30 Junior B. Final job for this one is to race through into the A final, which will be one of the last races of the day here on the 16th of July 2023 here at Shenington Kart Racing Club for the premier event of the season in this part of the world, and it's great to have you along with us here today. There is your, two circuit lengths here today, because we've got the non-gearbox at just over a kilometre, the gearbox at 1.2 with the longer run down to the Stratford corner, the far corner on the left of your little map there. 7 turns. One of those circuits that from the air looks very, very simple, but I can attest from own experiences around here it is anything but, particularly on a day like today where we do have mixed conditions. It's a bit overcast at the moment, bit breezy, not as windy as it was yesterday, but light rain is forecast pretty much from now onwards. And as I look around the circuit, there are some dark clouds forming. I am expecting that we will have continuations of these brief showers that breeze their way through the circuit, has done pretty much since the morning. So tyre choice is going to be very, very important today across all of the races. But we're going to get ready for the first race of the day, race number 27 on your programmes if you're watching round the circuits. The X30 Junior B final is up next. So, the X30 Junior B final, 30 drivers have already qualified through the heats in this category for the A final. The B final coming up next, and Cameron Edmonds has pole position for it. Harry Walsh alongside on the front row. David McIntyre and Sam Branston on row number 2. Tristan Powell and Ollie Rands will form up row number 3. Moving through then onto the 4th row of the grid. These are all drivers who would have an opportunity but need to gain places in this race. Eden Spanswick starts on the 4th row of the grid, and joining him there is Xiao Chenji in karts number 59. Sam Woolley and Laith Khan start on row number 5. Zeph Nurnberger and Levi Sangaris start on row 6. Jake Brook and Rocco Shenton start on row 7. Elias Vignola and Johan Davies start on row number 8. Dylan Masters and Hugo Hines start on the 9th row of the grid. And then Dylan Patel and Charlie Myers complete the 20 kart field in this one. 50 entries taking part this weekend in X30 Junior. And I do like a B final because it can be a very intriguing race from a tactical point of view. Winning the race is obviously good in this one, but being in those promotional spots to go through into the A final, far more important for the drivers. And that will be their aim here today in this particular race, because you never know, particularly with the conditions being mixed this weekend. It is exactly the kind of day where a driver could go on a bit of a hero run through from the lower reaches of a B final all the way up to the top of the standings come the end of the A final. Our drivers in the dummy grid ready to go racing for this one. This is when it gets serious now. All of these drivers will have taken part in 2 race heats so far this weekend and a timed qualifying session, which set the order for the X30 Juniors for 1 through 51 actually, because we have had one driver withdraw from the event in the meantime. And everybody then went into either Group A, B or C, and then we had a bit of a face-off round robin heat system where Group A went up against Group B against Group C, and then Group A against Group C. So it, as I say, means everybody has raced twice so far.
And the points that they have scored have determined whether they are one of the first 30 in the intermediate standings. They've gone through already into the A final. So if you are following one of the drivers and they're not on this grid, highly likely means that they have made it through to that top 30. Well done to them. results.alphatiming.co.uk/SKRC are where all of those details are. The B finalists head out onto circuit then for their formation laps. We'll be on the short course, of course. The start of this race, I think, is going to be very key as well, particularly through this part of the course, the Bruno chicane. Infamous for being very tight, very compact in the early stages of a race. And with those big curbs on the inside of the corners as well, and on the outsides actually, they're almost like walls through that part of the circuit. Were useful yesterday in the wet conditions, won't be useful today here in the dry. Are we ready to go racing then? I think we are ready to go. Away we go indeed for this B final. And oh, there's already contact towards the front of the order. Number 47 to 15 is 5 karts off before we've even got to Cafe Corner. So not a good start at all for a number of drivers. We'll track through who got through all of that unscathed in a few moments' time. But back at the front of the order, it's the number 57 of Cameron Edmonds who's had the best of starts at the front of the field. Bit of a scrap going on as they come off of the Bruno chicane for the first time. Challenge going on for second place behind. And that's a good move through Hanger. Everyone trying to fight their way so that in the battle. Slipstream so important here at Shenington. And it's Cameron Edmonds who leads the race. Yellow flags out at turn 1. And I think it's David McIntyre, Ollie Rands, Johan Davies, Hugo Hines, Charlie Myers, all haven't come through to complete lap number 1 yet. Dylan Masters is also off the back of the field, but it's Edmonds, Powell, Branston, Khan. That's your top 4 at the moment. They'll be the happiest drivers of all, as there's a defensive move there being put in, I think, by Rocco Shenton in the number 86, having a battle with the 69 of Eden Spanswick. 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go on the clock. There's a mechanical flag out already for the number 47 of Ollie Rands. That's probably for a loose exhaust. That was one of the drivers involved in the incident down at turn 1 on lap 1. Move for second place. Sam Branston goes through. Back into second spot. So a good move there past the number 57 of Cadman Edmonds. So I think Cadman Edmonds will just need to solidify his position now, because the danger in one of these B finals is that you start to look a bit vulnerable and you lose rhythm, falling down through the order. Number 43 of Sam Woolley has had a good start as well, has gained a position, is up into 4th place. Very experienced driver is Sam. Looking down the inside again for second place. We're going to see a lot of overtaking through Wilkins today. And through goes Cameron Edmonds back into second place. But Tristan Powell to the front of the order then at the end of lap number 3. Edmonds second, Branston third, Woolley 4th. They're all looking pretty good right now. Eden Spanswick sets the fastest lap of the race. 6th place at the moment for Eden in kart number 69. 44.010. There he is, just going through in the blue and white machine. Big battle going on for second place now. This is a good opportunity for Powell to get away. The others just trying to hold on, and Sam Branson has got through into second place. Sam Woolley in the blue and silver helmet there is up into 3rd. And as expected, a very entertaining early few stages of this B final as Woolley goes through again. So Sam Woolley moving up through the order into second place now. But can this group get organised now? Can they close down Tristan Powell? This is absolutely perfect for Powell. Leads by nearly a second. Woolley defensive to the inside as they go through Stratford. I think Eden Spanswick might have got through into 4th place as well. Woolley defends ahead of Branson as they go through the Bruno chicane. 57 of Cameron Edmonds is losing positions, unfortunately. There's the point from Rocco Shenton to say, let's work forward. Edmonds looks up the inside, tries. Oh, there's contact there between Shenton and Edmonds. And Edmonds through Wilkins is going to tumble down the order now and probably out of contention of being able to get through. Now, interesting situation here at the end of lap number 5. Powell, as we have mentioned, is out clear ahead of the rest of the field, but Woolley, Branston and Spanswick are all clear of the rest of the field. Will they work together? No, for the moment. Branston goes down the inside of Sam Woolley. Spanswick goes through as well. So Branston and Spanswick up to second and third. Woolley down to fourth. Not necessarily a problem for Woolley at this stage of the race. If this trio can work together, they can keep themselves in these good positions and have a very strong opportunity of going through into the A finals. As Spanswick down the inside into Wilkins. A compliant Branston allowing to go through. Branston's now going to look back down the inside for second place as they go through Park Bend into Cafe. And Branston has got back through. In fact, has got a bit of a gap for the first time in a while. Spanswick has to defend ahead of Sam Woolley, and all of this is allowing the number 78 of Leith Khan back into this. Leith put in a good last lap there, a new personal best in this B final, 44.04 seconds. The driver there, Kart's number 78, the Birillard liveried machine. Deep on the brakes into Wilkins. Less than 3 minutes to go. Remember, there will be +1 lap as Sam Woolley looking down the inside of Spanswick now. Spanswick lets him through. I think there was a little point there to say, no, okay, that's fine, keep going on. But look at this, Leith Khan's absolutely flying now as they go through Pitts Bend. 43.860, the fastest lap of the B final so far. Spanswick back down the inside of Sam Woolley. I just think all of this going back and forth, whilst they're not fighting too hard, they are losing time relative to Leith Khan, and they have allowed him back into this. Bit of an opportunity. Oh, Spanswick down the inside, maybe being helped a bit there by Sam Woolley, who pushes through as well. Tries to close the door on Branston, who's now having to defend from Leith Khan, who looks down the inside, takes fourth place. Brilliant move by Leith Khan. Read that perfectly. As Spanswick and Woolley went down the inside into Wilkins, he knew that there'd be an opportunity into the first bend. Takes that position, but is now under attack from Branston. And here comes Rocco Shenton as well, has just set the fastest lap of the race. Nearly coming to blows there for second place. Tristan Powell, by the way, is loving this because he's up the road 1.5 seconds and more clear of the rest of them, having a relatively easy drive through to the A final at the moment. 90 seconds to go. Defensive line there from Sam Woolley into Wilkins. No opportunity for Branston to get down the inside, but it's Rocco Shenton now on the move. Timing confirms that Shenton is up to 5th place. Looks down the inside of Branston, trying to make the space work as they go through Cafe. He's going to be on the outside now for Pitts Bend. May have a lane down the inside into Stratford, but Branston's good on the brakes there. Holds on to 4th place. 50 seconds to go on the clock. Only a couple more laps for the drivers to sort themselves out here for this B final. 2 seconds now the gap for the leader. Tristan Powell is comfortable. You'd argue that Spanswick and Woolley are pretty comfortable as well in their positions. It's all about this 4th place, with Rocco Shenton trying to find a way through, but hasn't quite got the straight line speed. Leith Khan has a go as they approach. Now Shenton goes down the inside. There was a gap there for Shenton through Cafe, and this time he's made it work. Brilliant work by Rocco Shenton, but now he's got to defend. 3 Burlart entries behind him at the moment. Shenton, Khan, I think Harry Walsh is in there as well, and still Cameron Edmonds, who started to come back into this as well. Timer ticks over to 0 now. Last lap board will be out this time around. Race leader coming out of the final corner now. But look at this train. This has been a classic B final. Top 3 places are decided. But what's going to happen here for this 4th position? Rocco Shenton holds it at the moment. But there's 4 drivers in the shape of Khan, Branston, Walsh, Edmonds, who all want it. Otherwise, this is going to be the end of their Shenington SuperPrix. Bit of a push there from Sam Branston to the rear of Leith Khan. Nothing too serious. We are on the final lap. You never know as well if there's a front fairing penalty or anything of that like. There could still be opportunities here for those drivers chasing. Cameron Edmonds trying to look down the inside of the numbers 22, but Tristan Powell's going to take the race victory very comfortably in the B final ahead of Eden Spanswick and Sam Woolley. 4th place for Rocco Shenton ahead of Laith Khan, Sam Branston, Cameron Edmonds, Harry Walsh, Lee Vastangera and Xiao Shenji. Very entertaining race that from the X30 juniors. We had one retirement in there who was Ollie Rands. Running down through the rest of the order, Zeph Nurnberger 11th, David McIntyre 12th, Dylan Patel 13th, Elias Vignola in 14th. Jake Brook was the top novice in that race in 15th ahead of Dylan Masters. Ollie Rands, Johan Davies, Hugo Hines, all of these drivers are unfortunately at the bottom of the order, retirements after that incident on lap number 1. And Charlie Myers, as mentioned, was a retirement as well. Well, that's not the end for X30 Junior, because we've got their A final later on this afternoon. And we'll see a number of those drivers that we've seen there through into that A final. Next up, though, the first A final of the day. 10 minutes plus 1 lap to decide this year's winner here at the Shenington SuperPrix for the Iame Waterswift Restricted class. That's next. Okay, time to go racing for our youngest of the Iame categories here today. Austin Gibson has pole position alongside George House. Cole Patterson and Mason Brooks form up row 2. Austin Newstead has been strong so far this weekend, starts alongside Ronnie Carter on row 3, who has a very good track record around this circuit. Henry Clark and Daniel Ferguson start on row 4. Harry Williams and Alfie Davidson row 5. Charlie Clough and Oliver Warner start on the 6th row of the grid. Josh Cook and Mateo Garcia start on row 7 ahead of Christian Kobe and Giada Louis on row 8. Seth Angus and John T. Restrick start on the 9th row of the grid. Ethan Lucas and Alessandro Salas complete the top 20. We're away and racing here for 10 minutes plus 1 lap in the Iame Waterswift Restricted. No, we're not, because there is a restart flag. And if I can pull up my sheet, I can tell you the rest of the grid. We were up to P20. Callum Graham and William Hines are on row 11. Harry Favell and Finley Bedford row 12. Louis Williams Mabs and William Bennett complete the 26 entries in this one. E-plate to be decided in this category. Time to go racing in Waterswift Restricted. Away we go for the start of this one. Good start at the front of the field. Everyone getting through the first couple of corners, it would seem. Well, and a very good start indeed for those at the front of the order. It looks like Austin Gibson has had a decent start in the number 52, the number 24 of Cole Patterson to the outside as they go through Stratford Corner. Good driving straight away from all of these young racers. Longest race of the weekend for all of these drivers. They've been as well through 2 heats and a timed qualifying so far this weekend. That's number 77 of George House, currently in 3rd place, racing for Oliver Rowland Motorsport here this weekend. It's actually a very good situation for ORM at the moment. They're 1, 2, 3 at the front of the order. End of lap 1 to confirm. Austin Gibson leads by a 10.5 over Colby Patterson in a 24. George House, Mason Brooks, Austin Newstead, Henry Clark, all in the top 6 at the moment. Through the Bruno chicane here on lap number 2 then. Who gained most on that first lap? We had a couple of drivers up 3 positions. I think Christian Kobe and Oliver Warner both took those. Yep, they were both up to 10th and 11th places respectively. Down the inside, lovely there from Oliver Warner in the blue and green helmet. And he's going for another move there. And in fact, he's up to 9th place. And look out for the number 23 coming through the order now. As I say, these finals, trophy finals, always race a bit differently to the heats, with a few more minutes on the clock for the drivers to play with, as the number 98 looking down the inside there. That's Christian Kobe. So both of our drivers who gained 3 positions at the start, continuing their progress up through the order. And the 60 there of Ronnie Carter, racing for Fusion Motorsport now. As mentioned with the grid, has a really strong track record here. Oh, it's off down at Wilkins Corner. That's the number 36 of Garcia, I think. Mateo Garcia going for a spin. Fortunately, was up around the top 10, but Mateo Garcia, hopefully Mateo can get going again. But now down in 23rd place, has got going again. New fastest lap of the race for Cole Patterson. Into 3rd place. Oh, bit of bumping and barging there through the Stratford hairpin. It all kind of conglomerated on the apex there. A bit of a moment for George House, but has kept things running. Shouldn't be any damage to the cart, but that was a bit of a heart-in-mouth moment for Ronnie Carter. 6 minutes and 43 seconds to go on the clock. Austin Gibson and Patterson both doing a fantastic job at the front of the order at the moment. Working together, 50.04 and 50.03 for both of them. Patterson setting the 0.3 is a new fastest lap of the race. And they are now 3/4 of a second clear of George House in 3rd. There is George House, number 77. Mason Brooks and Austin Newstead are the next carts behind in 4th and 5th, both getting quicker all the time. Into Wilkins they go. Trickiest corner on the circuit, if you ask me. Oh, side by side as they come off of Wilkins there for a moment were Brooks and Newstead, and Henry Clark not too far behind as well. The chasing drivers got to keep themselves organised, because it's the ORM boys out front at the moment, really dominating this race. Apologies, a brief technical issue on timing graphic there to the left hand side. I can assure you that it is still the order of the 52 of Gibson ahead of the 24 of Patterson, and then the 77 of George House. The number 15 has received a contact warning. In fact, 2 drivers have received contact warnings to note. Daniel Ferguson and Josh Cook, who are down in 14th and 13th places respectively. No penalties, no time penalties at this moment. End of lap number 6 then. Gibson and Patterson still lead, but they're continuing. This is very impressive pace at the front for Gibson and Patterson. They're now down into the 50, well, say down, they're very consistently hitting 50.0s. Talking hundredths of a second difference in their, or variance in their lap times the last few laps. And it means that they are pulling out ahead of George House in 3rd, and Mason Brooks and Austin Newstead 4th and 5th. There's been a change for 10th place. Alfie Davidson has got past Christian Kobe, so the number 46 upper spot there into the top 10. Also going through, William Hines has gained a position, and Mateo Garcia is also on a recovery drive now, has gained 2 positions back up to 21st. Good work though that last lap between Brooks and Newstead, just coming through past the commentary position at the moment. They've nicely closed in on George House there, themselves down into the 50.0s, and took half a second out of George House. It's not that George House is driving badly, not at all. It's very, very difficult around this circuit if you don't have someone or another kart ahead of you to give you a bit of a slipstream. It means that drivers who work together can often reel in single opponents out there on circuit. That's exactly what's happened here. What can George House do about it? May actually have a bit of help now from the drivers behind. Half an opportunity to close in on Gibbs and Patterson ahead, but to be fair, once again, well, Gibson and Patterson not as consistent anymore, because they're getting even quicker. 49.88 for Gibson last time around. So the pace increasing all the time. Looking down the inside now, Mason Brooks going for third place. George House doesn't defend too hard and slots in behind Austin Newstead. So Brooks up to third, Newstead fourth, George House in fifth. I think for George House, I think he knows the situation that it's still fairly early in this race to start being very defensive with the positioning of his kart. Plenty of racing already. He's still very young and very early in his career. Had the pleasure of commentating on all three of these drivers a number of times, even before they reached the cadet stage. Patterson, new fastest lap of the race. It's a big response actually from Patterson because there was a bit of a gap forming the last time they came through, but Patterson responds with a new fastest lap of the final, 49.780, 3.5 seconds. Now the gap from first to third. A couple of other position changes to report. Ronnie Carter has now got back up into the top 10. And Rui has also gained a couple of positions out there. So top novice at the moment for Yushuan Lee, up into 17th place. 1 minute and 40 to go then. These two drivers at the front of the order counting down the corners and laps now. I'm sure a battle will emerge between Gibson and Patterson, but they're probably just waiting for the last lap of this race. 4-second gap behind them. They are still comfortable. The comfort is growing, in fact, but you never know. Don't want to trip over one another and lose 5, 6, 7 seconds and the chance to take the first trophy final victory of the day. Less than a minute to go on the clock. Not entirely on the line as to whether this is the penultimate lap or whether they might just sneak another lap in on time. We'll wait and see on that one. More positions. Great battle going on, by the way. In the top 10 because Christian Kobe has just got back into it, and in fact no, changed that because Josh Cook has just got through and into 10th place. There's also a lot of changes in the second half of the order. Mateo Garcia is back up to 16th place. Seth Angus has gained some spots as well. There's also a developing battle for the novice award. Louis and Favre both line astern now, only 0.34 of a second between them in the fight for 20th place. Now the fight is on. Now you're starting to see some defensive driving from Austin Gibson, and for good reason. Are they going to see the last lap board? Yes, they are. So this is the last lap then, right on cue. Can Austin Gibson hold on for victory? Can Cole Patterson find a way through? Good reason hasn't tested his teammate too much so far. Gibson is going to go defensive to the inside. Patterson will have the outside line. Is there going to be an opportunity for a cutback? No, that's very well dealt with by Austin Gibson as they head towards the Bruno chicane for the final time in this one. Patterson's going to try and keep a line in there. Has he got a way through? He has. Brilliant move from Cole Patterson through into the lead of the race, but there's one more big opportunity for Austin Gibson to get this one back. It will be into Wilkins' corner. Patterson will go defensive. We've seen changes on the line before. Oh, but Gibson runs into the back of Patterson, and Patterson's going to take it and wins in the Iame Waterswift Restricted category. Is our first winner in the 2023 Shenington SuperPrix with a very calm and mature drive. It's a 1-2. It wasn't a 1-2-3 in the end for ORM, but it's a 1-2 for them nonetheless. Austin Newstead got up to third place late on there, ahead of Mason Brooks and George House. Henry Clark in fourth, Oliver Warner in seventh, Harry Williams, Charlie Clough and Josh Cook all form the top 10. Very good race there from the Iame Waterswift Restricted category. Some of our youngest drivers here this weekend. Very good to see. Well done to all of them. But we've got to move on because next up out on circuit, it's the Inter category for Iame Waterswift. That's next. Ready to go racing then for Iame Waterswift Inter. Let's have a look at the grid. Jesse Phillips starts on pole position. George Edgar alongside on the front rows. Jarlath Sayer and Canish Grau on row 2. Archie Lovett and Max Endicott form up row number 3. Aaron Richardson and Finley Lyons start on row number 4. Jacob Backler and Sukmani Kira form up the 5th row of the grid. Ethan Weldon and Archie Owen on row number 6. George Clark and Jensen Jones will start on row 7, ahead of Harley Musk and Ethan Woodward on row 8. Jensen Ackerman and Will Green on row 9. Arian Nair and Knight Measures complete the top 20 on row number 10. Nat Johnston and Teddy Porter start on row 11. Harrison Rogers and Rian Townsend Grant on row 12. Hichian Deng and Luca Narroway start on row 13. Shihan Seng and Rashid Abdullah start on row 14. Pato Medina and Alfie Fulton on row number 15. And Kai Clark and Hayden Gilbert complete the 32 kart field. Under starters orders then, ready to go racing for 10 minutes plus 1 lap, and I think we're good and away for the final in the Inter category for Iame Waterswift. It's Fusion domination at the front of the order at the moment. 1, 2, 3 as they head through Pitts Bend and down towards the Stratford hairpin for the first time in this one. All of them filing through 2 by 2. Bit of contact. Oh, and one of the problems with one of the ORM karts there. And I think is that Measures off as well. Yes, it is. The number 19 of Knight Measures, who started P20, is beached on the curb on driver's left on the exit of the Stratford hairpin. And it all got a bit clumsy in the second half of the order as they headed through Stratford for the first time. One of the biggest fields of the day here in Iame Waterswift. Already becoming a very popular category. End of lap number 1. Jesse Phillips is held from pole position ahead of teammate George Edgar there in second place. Jarlath Sayer is up to 3rd place. Archie Lovett has gained off the start as well, up 2 positions to 4. Archie Lovett down. Sorry, Archie Lovett gaining 2. Canish Grau down 1. Aaron Richardson has gained 2 as well. That is your top 6. Onto the back straight now for Jesse Phillips. At the moment is galloping away here at the front of the order, and it really is. Now a bit of a question to the likes of Edgar and Sayer. Can they do something about this? This is a fantastic performance, as we come to expect from Jesse Phillips. But nonetheless, this is very, very impressive early stages from Phillips there in karts number 26. Half a second now the lead. I mentioned already how important a slipstream is around this circuit. That's making it so impressive for me that he's able to break away. So just to mention as well, just a single retirement at the moment. Knight Measures there on lap 1. Really unlucky for Knight, because wasn't the fault of the driver there in the number 19. Wrong place, wrong time. Oh, 3 wide down into Wilkins. You don't often see that. And that's brilliant placement by Archie Lovett. Jarlath Sayer went for the move down the inside of George Edgar. Well, Archie Lovett saw just enough room for his number 89 to get down the inside and took both of them. Fantastic move. Contact warning for Deng in the 86, as here comes Canish Grau down the inside, up to 3rd place. Well, the story of this race has changed very quickly indeed. Now, what can Lovett and Rao do? Worked well so far in this race. As we expected, 2 teammates, of course. As all wide there for Lovett on the entry, and that is an open door for Canish Grau and Jarlath Sayer to get down the inside and go through. So order at the end of lap number 4 then. Phillips leads by 1.1 seconds. Canish Grau in 2nd. Jarlath Sayer 3rd. 4th for Archie Lovett. George Edgar just getting back on top of things now. As down the inside into Stratford goes Archie Lovett. Back up into 3rd place. Aaron Richardson also doing some really good work. 7th place at the moment for Richardson, but a new personal best of the race so far, 48.67 seconds. Archie Owen unfortunately has lost a few spots, is down 4 to 18th place. Wide line again, this time being applied by Kanish Grau, but good speed into Wilkins' corner meant that no overtaking was possible. Side by side for third place. Jarlath Say trying to find a way through past Archie Lovett, has made it work. Has made it work there. So they went through Cafe. 5.5 minutes to go as through comes George Edgar as well. Was just defending there on the inside, making sure that Finlay Lines, the number 80, didn't find a way through. Max Endicott has gained a position, 8th place now, ahead of Sukmani Kira. Into Wilkins they go, down the inside there for Edgar, and Lovett falls down a couple of spots because I think Finlay Lines got through there as well. Yes, Finlay Lines did get through. Kart number 80, another one of the Fusion Motorsport runners, the bright green helmet, going through Cafe Corner and towards Pitts Bend now. Kind of similar to what we saw in the B final for the X30 Juniors at the moment. Race leader out clear by 1.5 seconds as down the inside goes Archie Lovett, this time on Finlay Lines, gains another position. Richardson also takes opportunity of that, goes through into 6th place. As I say, there's lots of overtaking going on behind in this chasing group. But Jesse Phillips is just able to control this right now, 1.5 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Pato Medina has got past Luca Narroway for 21st place. Ryan Townsend, Grant and Nat Johnston have also gained spots. New fastest lap of the race from Jacob Bachler, currently in 12th place, 48.500. As there's now 4 minutes on the clock to go. Phillips now 1.6 seconds out front. Kanish Grau's pace is not far off the leader's pace. Both of them in the 48.6s, but the problem for the likes of Rao, Sayer and Edgar at the moment, they're all a bit spread apart and not going to be able to help each other as a multi-cart train. A bit further back, down the inside goes Finlay Lines, this time on the number 16 of Aaron Richardson. And was that Max Endicott going through as well? Yes, it was. So Max Endicott in the number 81 gains another spot, is up to 7th now. A lot of pressure you'd feel on the leader at the moment. Not easy to keep your rhythm in this situation. Too many reference points to hit your braking points. Easy to lose your concentration. Particularly if you start thinking about conditions. It's not raining here at the moment. Still a bit blustery. Clouds around the circuit. 2 minutes and 45 on the clock to go. Is there any response from Rao, Sayer, Edgar behind? No, it just keeps going out, this lead for Jesse Phillips. 1.8 seconds. He just always seems to have a 10th in hand over the rest of the order. And whilst they are organised now into a train that are helping each other, it may be too little too late for the rest of the runners. Hard to see at the moment how anyone is going to be able to wrestle this victory here at the Shenington SuperPrix away from Jesse Phillips. But you never know. There's potentially a bit of rain in the distance there, just beyond Wilkins, but it's not going to affect things in this race. Down the inside goes George Edgar. This is for 3rd place. Through Wilkins and has made the move stick. Very good indeed from Edgar. Back into the top 3. Archie Lovett followed through as well. In fact, was Lovett having a little look? Yeah, a little bit of hesitation there. And Jarlath Sayer has jumped on that brilliantly to get back up to 4th place. That's just on the approach to Cafe. Thought Lovett was going to throw it down the inside of Edgar, and in doing so opened up the line to Jarlath Sayer. Communication there between Lines and Endicott that they need to work together to chase down the top 5. Just looking out of my commentary box window, there is definitely some rain in the distance, and generally this weekend it's towards Wilkins Corner where you've looked for where the weather is coming from, so we'll keep monitoring that. 60 seconds to go in the final here for the intercategory in Iame Waterswift. In a big weekend, a number of these drivers will be hoping to carry this form on. Bigger and better results. Will it be in the British Championships? Oh no, the rain is hitting. No, it's hitting now. It's just there. Few drops. This could spice things up in the latter stages because they're all out on slick tyres, of course. This has been the story of this weekend. Just suddenly, seemingly out of nowhere, these showers coming in. Now, at least these drivers will have warm tyres. They might be all right. It's a very grippy track surface here at Shenington, but the rain is starting to fall. It's going to make things very interesting for the next couple of races. What do they do with tyres? Will be more time on the clock as well. There's going to be 2 more laps here. Drivers now trying out different lines. Edgar going for the wide line there. They're all searching for a bit more grip now as the track continues to darken. That shows you that the water is coming down. I think it's only really up round Cafe Corner that the rain is falling right now. The slippery surface flag is now out, you can see, beyond Pitts Bend. It's the number 21 there of Harley Musk. Harley Musk's had a good race. He's up into the top 10 now. Finley Lines goes for an early apex. That's the trouble. Sometimes means that you can't get off the corner. 2.3 seconds now for Jesse Phillips. This really is a test for Jesse Phillips. He's going to see the last lap board. The checkered flag cannot come too soon as the rain continues to fall here at Shenington. What has been a very mixed weekend conditions-wise. Phillips looking relaxed. Has a bit of time to play with. See that, the rain is really starting to come down now here at the circuit. Last had one of these showers probably about 45 minutes ago. They do clear quickly. Good scrap going on here for second place. Edgar down the inside, but Rao's going to have the undercut surely as they come away from Stratford Hairpin. Yes, and indeed, Rao goes back into second place. Edgar looking around the outside. Drivers starting to use those curbs to get them round the corner. Jarlath Sayer, it's very close. Oh, there's a spin there for the number 49 of Sayer. And Jarlath Sayer, who was on the verge of the podium, is going to tumble down the order now. But for Jesse Phillips, what a drive this has been today under all this pressure. Takes the win in Iame Waterswift, becomes champion for the Shenington SuperPrix in 2023. It's a win for Fusion. A fantastic win. All about the starts, that one for Jesse Phillips. Very good race start and looks comfortable from there on, even in the intermediate wet conditions. Second place to Canish Grau, great result. Max Endicott ended up in third place. So George Edgar also had problems at the end there as they came out of the Bruno chicane. So it's Phillips, Rao, Endicott, your provisional result 1, 2, 3. Archley Lovett in fourth, Aaron Richardson in fifth. Well, a very entertaining race there in the Waterswifts. Well done to all of those drivers. We're going to get ready for the next race though. The Interclass in Rotax are out next. Well, here we go then. First Rotax final of the afternoon. It's the intercategory heading out on circuit first, and Teddy Cooper will be on pole position. Finley Hines alongside on the front row of the grid. Josh Parker and Oliver Meek start on row number 2. Charlie Benson and Max Williams start on row number 3. Thomas Butcher and Finley Hans start on the 4th row of the grid. Rook Thompson and Benjamin Lawn on row 5. Ilya Veliko and Max Fallon start on row 6. Daniel Wisnauskas will form up the 7th row of the grid alongside Ben Morgan. Row number 8 has JJ Lowe and Louis Barker on it. And it's the 9th row being formed up by Sebastian G and Hugh Hobson. William Whale completes the grid of 19 drivers in damp conditions now here at Shenington. And still a little bit of rain I can see out of the comms box window here at Cafe Corner. once again, because it's a good level of grip around this circuit, I wouldn't say it's wet enough to warrant a full treaded tyre. It's false start flagged, so the drivers will go around one more time. The drivers will appreciate that in these conditions. I'm having a quick look out to see if there's anyone who's punted for a wet tyre. No, I don't think so. As far as I can see, they are all on slicks. But almost like a light switch has been flicked here at the circuit. Just to turn my head back towards the cut through, it's suddenly a lot brighter out there. Something's happened with Charlie Benson. I can see Charlie Benson is going down the hanger straight and is away from the rest of the field. Should be starting on the third row of the grid. I'm not quite sure what happened with Charlie there. There he is, just in the back of shot. Either way, I think we're good to go. No, we're going to go around one more time for another formation lap. Give opportunity, if the rules deem fit, for Benson to come through. He's on novice plates this weekend, but I've seen Charlie race many times before. He's very experienced. Is what we'll say. So I think he's a very short odds favourite for the top novice in the standings in this category, but you never know, particularly in these conditions now. Drivers trying to get as much heat into their tyres as possible. Don't need to worry about wear on these tyres. But they do need to worry about temperature and having enough grip into turn one. We've seen some dramatic starts across the categories in similar conditions so far this weekend. Away we go for the Inter Rotax final. Good start for Teddy Cooper at the front of the order, and spinning round there, that's the number 18 going off. That's Finley Hans, who gets back on circuit now, but any chance of winning this race is surely gone now for Finley Hans. The rest of them just about filing their way through Cafe Corner. Change at the front of the order. Teddy Cooper has been shuffled down to at least second place. This category sponsored by Jag Engineering once again this year. Oof, bit of a moment there for the number 13. That's Ben Morgan, as spinning out in the middle of the road. That's the number 63 of Josh Parker, who had worked his way up to the front, but has now spun out through the Bruno chicane. Charlie Benson looking down the inside there for third place. Is going to take third place, so it means that I think Teddy Cooper has shuffled back through into the lead of this race. The number 34 goes spinning round as they come out of the final corner. That's Ilya Veliko going for a spin. Change of lead at the front of the order. Finley Hines has come through, takes the lead of the race away from Teddy Cooper, and you can see now this is the difference to what we saw with the Waterswifts. They all had warm tyres when the wet conditions hit. All of these drivers are having to do it from cold. Teddy Cooper initially down the inside takes the lead of the race. Quick communication there with Charlie Benson, who's up to second place. So let's try and get a bit of a rhythm going here. Contact warning for the number 63 of Josh Parker. Oh, as Benson struggles out of the Bruno chicane, and he's going to have Hines on the inside there to go through. Rook Thompson beautifully coming through here. It's into third place there, down the inside into Wilkins. Well, Rook Thompson is liking these conditions. How did Rook start on this grid? Started P9. Benson looking for some grip round the outside there. That's a nice line, and that's going to work. Yes, so Charlie Benson retakes third place. Smart driving through Cafe, running out a few cart widths wider there. Hooking to the inside is Benjamin Lawn in the number 85. I saw racing a few weeks ago at fullback, and we should just rename him Mr. Overtake. He was properly fighting out there, not giving up any positions. A very entertaining set of races, just like that. This is nope, not being overtaken by Max Fallon, the number 33. Fights straight back, retakes the position. Number 24 of Max Williams involved in all of that as well, with the green and white helmet coming out of Wilkins now. Things starting to steady down at the front of the order though. Teddy Cooper still leads. Finley Hines second. Charlie Benson back up to third. Rook Thompson still there fourth, and Oliver Meeks having a nice race as well. Was 4th through the qualifying programme for this category. Has held a position there in the top 5. I think the rain has now stopped. Again, this has been kind of the story, even with the heavier rain showers that we saw yesterday. It's been a very difficult call at times as to whether to go for a wet tyre, because quite a few times we've had these showers and within a heat or a single race, at most 2, the track has dried up again and nobody's wanting to waste a set of those wet tyres for obvious reasons. I think we're seeing the same again here. Cooper now being challenged by Hines into Park Bend. Surely Hines will have the run on the apex of the corner. Can he get it done on the exit? Yes, he can. But has he now taken too much speed into Cafe Corner? No. Beautifully done by Finley Hines into the lead of the race. Heading down to Stratford now. Teddy Cooper has a quick check over the shoulder. Goes to the inside line, but that's where all the rubber's been laid down. It's going to be slippery there. And here comes Charlie Benson. Charlie Benson having a look, but can't get the drive along runway. And just has to concede that 3rd place is as good as it gets for now. 5.5 minutes on the clock remaining. Fastest driver out on circuit at the moment is Josh Parker, our former leader of the race in karts number 63. Still only 3.6 seconds behind the leaders. I don't think this is done yet for anyone. Kind of from 5th down to 10th. Brooke Thompson there, number 17. Slides his way through Park Bend and Cafe Corner. Five minutes of this race to go. I think Josh Parker gaining more positions indeed, just going past the number 67 of Oliver Meek there. More battling going on. Max Fallon trying to find a way past Benjamin Lawn. But as we mentioned, one does not simply overtake Benjamin Lawn, is what we've found over the last few weeks. Josh Parker's probably driving his way back into this. He's closing in 1.85, 51.140. Josh Parker has found some pace here as the track starts to dry out now. Finley Hines, Teddy Cooper, Charlie Benson, I think are all going to have the attentions of the number 63 as Benson goes down the inside, makes the inside line work there through Stratford. So that's a definite indicator that the track is now drying. The conventional racing lines, the dry racing lines, are now working for the drivers. This race has changed character now. It was a race of who could make slicks work in wet conditions. It's now about who can identify where the grip is fastest. Because there is Josh Parker down the inside of Teddy Cooper now for 3rd place with 50.430. Parker is absolutely tearing his way through this order. Now has a go at Charlie Benson for 2nd place. They're going to be side by side as they go through Pitts Bend. Parker will have the inside line there, and look how much speed Parker has to hold even on the wet line. Benson's done well there. Has defended 2nd place. Here comes Rook Thompson once again in the number 17. He's defended off from 4th place by Teddy Cooper. But you've also got to think this is Finley Hines' best opportunity to take this one away from the rest of the field. As down the inside goes Josh Parker into Wilkins for 2nd place. Benson tries to hold a nose in there, but in the end, through goes Josh Parker. And another new fastest lap of the race from Josh Parker, 49.82 seconds. He's was 4/10 quicker than the race leader last time around. Into Stratford they go, round the hairpin. One of those sector times looking like for the drivers out there. We are not quite back to fully dry conditions yet. Still some patches of moisture out there on circuit. Other changes to report. Max Fallon has found a way past Benjamin Lawn, is up to 7th place now. 2 minutes to go. Now this is going to be very telling. Okay, so 49.3 for Hines, 48.93 for Parker. So once again, just seems to be 4/10 quicker than Finley Hines, and is now going to be benefiting from a bit of a slipstream down the long straights here at Shenington, particularly as they head towards Wilkins, you'd feel. As the number 24 of Max Williams has got through past Benjamin Lawn. That's for 8th place. Max Fallon has also gained a spot. He's past Oliver Meek for 6th. And now Parker is on the scene. It's down the inside of Hines. Surely he's going to take the lead of the race, and does. What a race this has been from Josh Parker, having been facing backwards in the Bruno chicane on lap number 1. We said that that was it. That surely there was not going to be opportunity for Parker to come through this field, but he has been a cut above the rest here in the damp conditions on slick tyres. Now, can he pull away from the rest of the field? Can he continue the rate of progress and leave the rest of them to fight for second place? Finley Hines is keeping with Josh Parker now, and that's going to be the benefit for Finley Hines. He's now going to be able to see where is Josh Parker placing that number 63 kart. In fact, Hines is going to go back down the inside here to retake the lead of the race through Wilkins. Squirming on the brakes. Very brave stuff there from Finley Hines. So the story of the race changes yet again. 2 laps to go. There was about 25 seconds on the clock remaining when they crossed the line there. It's been a great final here in Rotax Inter. We thought Josh Parker had this one under control, but Finley Hines has found the pace at the crucial moment to give himself a really good chance here of taking this race victory. Josh Parker's looking for a way past as they go through Hanger now into Wilkins. Is there a lane down the inside? No, there isn't. Hines goes a touch wide, but has got good speed off of the final corner. Final lap board is out then. Charlie Benson's not out of this as well, because Benson's found some pace and is now back within a second of the race leaders. Oliver Meek sets the new fastest lap of the race, 47.59 for the driver currently in 5th place. Where does Parker make the attempt to get through here on Finley Hines? Hines checks over the right-hand shoulder as they go towards the Bruno chicane. And now Parker goes for it down the inside. Brilliant move through the initial part of the Bruno chicane, but has got to defend now as they go down the Hanger straight. Side by side once again. Will he defend the inside line enough? Oh, big contact there between Hines and Parker, but Parker's still got the lead in this one and is going to take race victory. A remarkable race victory for Josh Parker. He takes the final in Rotax Inter. Second place to Finley Hines. But if I just look out of my window, I think I can see yet that the front fairing is down on the number 57. So Charlie Benson, pending other checks, will surely be second. Teddy Cooper will be third. Oliver Meek fifth in the provisional classification. 6th for Max Fallon, 7th for Benjamin Lawn, 8th for Max Williams. Rook Thompson and Thomas Butcher form out a very entertaining top 10. Very well done to all of those drivers, but what a drive from Josh Parker, having had trouble there on lap 1, found the speed, found the pace, and takes the race win. Well, very entertaining indeed. Thank you once again to Jag Engineering for their support of the Rotax Inter category. We're going to move on now for 2 finals in 1. The Rotax Inter and Honda Cadet finals are out next. Well, here we go for some of our younger drivers once again heading out on to circuit. Let's have a look at the grid. Max Aberhart starts on pole position. Jack Baker alongside on the front row. Jensen Walker and Sebastian Clark row 2. Harry Knight and Archie Lee Bullock start on the 3rd row of the grid. Ralph Rakaitis and Sebastian Behrman start on the 4th row of the grid. Elijah West and Elliot Travis start on row number 5. Philip Patero and Luke McGall start on row 6. Theo Hamilton and Hendrix Bennett on row 7. Archie Rogers-Tyler and Tommy Morris start on row number 8. The top 11 in this race, all from the Rotax powered category. And it's going to be another formation lap for the drivers. 12th through 16th are the Honda entries. Thanks once again to Jag Rotaxes. Oh, some drivers went through the cut through, some of them didn't. We'll just wait for the group of Honda drivers to reform again, all 5 of them. Quick sight of Stu Stretton there as well, and I think we are now underway for the final in Micromax, where they all go for 10 minutes plus 1 lap. Well, I'll keep you updated with both categories as we go through, but it's been a good start for Aberhart there in the number 61, leading through the Stratford corner for the first time. It looks like the Honda cadets have got going as well. The number 15 of Patero spinning out towards the back of the order there. Unfortunate there for Patero, just having a spin. Still probably a touch damp out there on circuit, but it's Aberhart leading from Baker 1-2. Jensen Walker has had a good start as well there in the number 22 in 3rd place. Oh, bit of contact with the number 50 of Sebastian Clark, and it looks like Sebastian Behrman there in the blue and green helmet has gained some positions off the start. Yes, up to 4th place is Behrman. Archie Lee Bullock has had a decent start as well, is holding there in 5th. And Theo Hamilton has started things out in the Honda Cadets category towards the front of the order. Down the inside goes Jack Baker, has been on good form the last few weeks, battling for the lead there with Aberhart, who similarly has, for me, taken a big step forward in terms of performance recently. It's been very good to see. Aberhart wanting Baker to work with him at the moment, keep away from this chasing pack. Here goes Behrman down the inside on Walker, takes 3rd place. Good move there from Sebastian Behrman. Checking in with the Honda category, it's actually Archie Rogers-Tyler who's come to the front in the Honda 160s. And leads Theo Hamilton by a 1/3 of a second, so very close between those two at the moment. 8 minutes of this race to go. There's a move down the inside. The number 50 of Sebastian Clark goes through past Harry Knight for 6th place, but didn't have particularly good speed off of the corner, and through back brilliantly goes Harry Knight there. Rakaitis as well, getting closer all the time, is battling for 7th place now. Back with our battle for 3rd place going through Wilkins. Behrman still ahead of Walker, but they've got to find something pretty quickly to stop these two drivers galloping away. Baker and Aberhart, and in fact Jack Baker's got through. So Jack Baker back into the lead of the race. The end of lap number 3. No change in positions in Honda. Still Rogers-Tyler from Hamilton, McGall, Bennett, Morris. Here's the number 24 looking down the inside of Harry Knight. That's Rakaitis going through into 6th place and getting a better run this time off of the Stratford hairpin, side by side between Sebastian Clark and Elijah West as well. Elliot Travis, could see Elliot out there, not too far behind. Elliot Travis, another driver who, even though it's still very young drivers here, has got a lot of experience. He's driven around this circuit before. Back with our leaders though. Start of lap number 5. Baker and Aberhart doing what they need to do at the moment. Don't need to scrap too much. They just need to keep growing that gap to the chasing pair behind of Behrman and Walker, and they're doing just that. 2.3 seconds, the 2.4 seconds in fact, rounded up to the nearest 10th, is the gap between Aberhart and Behrman. But Behrman and Walker are also working well together. They've got a similarly sized gap over Archie Lee Bullock, just behind in 5th. Maybe harder to think about it down the inside. In the end, Holes there in 2nd place. So Jack Baker with the new fastest lap of the race, 50.570. Looking comfortable. So taken a number of race wins over the last couple of months. He's another driver for me who's been working very, very hard on his racecraft. He's always had the speed, and it's starting to show now, all of that hard work. He's regular at the front of orders whenever I see him race. Here's your fight for 6th place. Going through Hangar Turn now. Ralph Rakaitis in the number 24, just ahead of Harry Knight in the number 63. Harry Knight currently your top novice driver. Is about a second ahead of the 2nd novice driver in the shape of Elijah West. Oh, Knight has a nice look down the inside there into Park, but wasn't quite far enough alongside to make that one fully work. Behrman and Walker heading through the Stratford hairpin now, 3rd and 4th places for them. Behrman taking a half defensive line into Stratford that time around. 4.5 minutes of this race to go, or thereabouts. I think these two know that 3rd place is as good as it's going to get in all likelihoods here today. Need to be careful though. They don't want to allow the drivers behind back into their fight for 3rd and a place on the podium. Walker's going to have a look here down the inside into Park, but again, just can't quite pull up alongside far enough to really force that move through on the transition into Cafe Corner. Behrman's got some good speed down the straights here. Will be initially defensive into Stratford. Looking at the body language of these two karts, I would say that the best opportunity for Walker has got to be on the brakes. Jensen Walker can do moves on the brakes. Doing a lot of racing in multiple categories across various competitions this year is Jensen Walker. Racing against Sebastian Behrman in other categories as well. So these two drivers know each other pretty well. 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Cutting back, let's have a look at the Hondas then. Still Archie Rogers Tyler leading in this race. Heading through the Bruno chicane now. 2nd place for Theo Hamilton. 3rd for Luke McGall there. You can see in the number 35 with the yellow details on the bodywork of Luke's kart. Hendrix Bennett is the driver just behind in 4th, and then Tommy Morris in 5th. Two minutes 30 to go on the clock. It's been an impressive drive this from Archie Rogers Tyler. Again, it's difficult to lead a race here at this circuit. The style of the straights and the corners means it's hard to break away from a chasing pack, particularly in a class such as Honda Cadet, where momentum is so important for the success of these drivers. He's doing a really good job and keeps putting in personal bests, which is as much as you can ask for from a race leader in this situation. 53.16 last time around, but here's going to be a change for 2nd place. Through goes McGall past Hamilton, and I think Luke Hendrix Bennett is also going to go through. So yes, who was that pulling off to the side of the road? I think it might have been Elijah West, because Elijah has fallen down to 15th place overall. It looked to be one of the micro entries. Yes, indeed, Elijah West has fallen down and is sadly out of this race. Looks like it's a technical problem on the exit of the last corner. Can often see mechanical problems manifest themselves down at that far end of the circuit, where you've got some big curbs and it's a phase of the track where you get on the loud pedal, things can break down there. Nice move down the inside there by Sebastian Clark. Goes through past Harry Knight. That's for 7th place, but Knight's going to fight back here as they go into the Bruno chicane. Beautifully done from Harry Knight. Didn't panic too much. Needs to keep things nice and tidy on the exit of the Bruno chicane though, because otherwise Sebastian Clark is potentially going to have another go as they go into Wilkins corner. But yeah, in fact, yeah, that was very well done by Harry Knight, just keeping about a cart and a half length ahead of Sebastian Clark. No opportunity for Clark to go back down the inside as they went into Wilkins. 2 laps to go then. Jack Baker still leads this race. Has control, it would seem, at the moment ahead of Maximilian Eberhardt. But has Eberhardt saved something for the latter stages of this race? 5 seconds to go. So time will tick over just as they go through Wilkins now. Last lap board, final lap board will be out, and Eberhardt's got a good run here on to the start-finish straight. Baker's going to have to defend as they go through Park Bend, but is there going to be an opportunity now as they go through this tricky transition, particularly when there's damp patches out on the circuit like there is right now? But Baker's dealt with that very well. Still good scrap going on for 3rd place between Behrman and Walker into the Stratford hairpin. There may be a bit of traffic for the leaders in Micromax in the Rotax micro category to deal with here. I think it might be Tommy Morris. Baker doing the job at the moment, ticks off the Bruno chicane, is so close now to taking race victory. He's going to have to judge this well. Tommy Morris pulls over to driver's left. That's good driving from the Honda Cadet driver. But here comes Jack Baker. Well, he just keeps getting better and better and better. Jack Baker wins in Rotax Micro here at the Shenington SuperPrix for 2023. Maximilian Eberhardt continues his good form this year, finishes in 2nd place. 3rd will go to Sebastian Behrman, 4th for Jensen Walker, 5th for Archie Lee Bullock. Still got the Hondas out there as well, not decided in the Honda Cadet category as well. It was very close between Archie Rogers-Tyler, Luke McGall and Hendrix Bennett. Theo Hamilton and Tommy Morris are already completing 4th and 5th, having gone off the lead lap overall, but we're waiting for the Honda Cadets. Is Rogers-Tyler going to hold on for things here? In fact, no, McGall's taken the lead. McGall has taken the lead on the last lap. It's going to be a sprint to the line. Is Luke McGall going to take victory here in Honda Cadet? It's going to be very close, and he has got it by 0.06 of a second. I had my heart in my mouth there. I thought Luke McGall had celebrated too early because Rogers-Tyler had a good run, but in the end McGall wins by 0.06 of a second. What a victory, what a race. Well done to Baker and McGall there. They both take the top trophies. We're going to have to move on though to the next race as things carry on here at Shenington. Next out on circuit is Junior TKM. Okay, so it's time to move into the junior categories here today at Shenington. Race number 32 on your race programmes is the Junior TKM final, and the reigning E-plate holder, Jan Kalichern, starts this race from pole position. Patrick Leaf alongside on the front row, Monty Brathwaite and Harley Mason form up row 2. Harry Blore and Aidan Mitchell start on row number 3. Adam Bourne and Willoughby Steele start on row 4. Jack Stewart and William Bryant start on row 5. Francis Horn and Leo Robinson start on row 6. We spoke to her earlier in the historics. It's going to be Sasha Bagley starting on row number 7 alongside Daniel Samir. Harrison Morrow and Harry Morris start on row 8. And Lewis Paynton completes the 17 kart entry here in Junior TKM. So the kart's out on circuit for their formation lap. Always great to have a bit of TKM action here at the Shenington SuperPrix. for Jan Kalichern, trying to win the SuperPrix here. Great opportunity from pole position, has had a perfect run so far. 0 points from the heats, indicating that he took both race victories. This is a final, 10 minutes plus 1 lap, and anything can happen. Sun is out, no rain. Here, time to go racing in Junior TKM. Away we go for 10 minutes plus 1 lap, and it's a good start for Kalichern through the first couple of corners. The number 11 is up to second place. That's a great start, in fact, for Harry Bloor. That's what surprised me there. Harry Bloor is already up from the third row of the grid into P2. Down into Stratford they go for the first time. Defensive lines by a couple of drivers there, understandably there on lap number 1. Sasha Bagley has been shuffled down the order a bit, I think a couple of positions, but that's a good start for Kalichern as they go through the Bruno chicane for the first time. A couple of drivers side by side, don't want to trip over those big curbs. There's trouble at the back of the field, unfortunately. I think it's Harrison Morrow. Yes, it is. The number 75 is going very, very slowly past pit exit right now. So Harrison Morrow is out of this race on lap 1. But it's Kalichern leading, Bloor second, Mason third, Mitchell fourth, fifth for Willoughby Steele. White flag out there. There is Harrison Morrow moving very slowly down towards the Stratford hairpin. Not quite sure what the problem was there for Harrison Morrow. The kart seems to have all of a sudden... No, I was about to say I think it's picked up some pace. It has picked up pace, but it's not fully picked up pace. Bit of a tricky moment for our junior TKM drivers just to negotiate their way through. There was Leo Robinson going through in 6th place. In the number 6 in 10th place. So Kalichern leads by half a second. Harry Bloor there in 2nd place. 3rd for Harley Mason. Race already getting into a rhythm here quite nicely. Second half of the field going through the order of national there. Just shows that the sun's back out. This is more like it. This is what we expect weather-wise from the SuperPrix. Always in mid-July. Down the inside there. That's a beautiful move by Steele. Takes 4th place away from Aidan Mitchell. Mitchell was a touch wide. Had his own squirm on the brakes there. Oof, that's the number 22 of Patrick Leaf. Tries to find a way through. So much speed as he goes there through Park Curve. More TKM action up later on this afternoon. We've got the TKM Extreme and TKM Clubman categories again here this weekend. I'm particularly looking forward to the TKM Clubman race. Always dramatic, always unpredictable is that final. So do stick with us here on Alpha Live. If you've been enjoying the coverage, do make sure that you've clicked that like button on the YouTube channel and subscribe as well. And hello to all of our viewers on Facebook as well, across the various Facebook pages that the stream is going out on today. Warning for Monty Brathwaite in the number 12, currently in 6th place. Something's just been alerted to race control. No penalties at this moment. Brathwaite trying to get down the inside of Aidan Mitchell there. It's a good scrap actually over 4th place with Willoughby Steele at the front of it. Right now, Jan Kalichern is just controlling this race, as Jan Kalichern has done throughout this weekend so far. I'm sure it's not been. I'm sure there's a lot of hard work going on behind that wheel. As the number 11 down the... Oh, contact! That was the 77 of Francis Horn getting into the side of Brathwaite. Brathwaite puts his hand up to remonstrate there. At first glance, that looks like a bit of a racing incident. I think Francis Horn may have just come over a little bit early. Not quite realised that Brathwaite was still holding a nose in there. But either way, two drivers go down to... Well, Brathwaite down to 9th place. Horn down to 11th. Means that Sasha Bagley is back up into the top 10. good moment for Patrick Leaf and Leo Robinson. They both gained a position on Aidan Mitchell on that last lap and benefits from that incident. So Leaf now up to 5th, Robinson in 6th. Leo Robinson has now found a way past Patrick Leaf as well as down the inside once again. Junior's loving a move into Park Curve there. Side by side, the number 57 of Jack Stewart finding a way through. First time that we've seen Jack pulling off some good moves in this race so far. He's now on the inside as they go through Stratford. He's got the attentions of the 41 of Harry Morris, so plenty of drivers from the second half of the order really coming into this, looking to have a strong finish to their SuperPrix weekends. For Jan Calichurn, this will be another great victory. Big thanks to our sponsors once again in this category. Talco, long-time partners of the SuperPrix. Winners from these categories will receive some monetary vouchers from Talco. Very well earned indeed. Jan Calichurn trying to hold on once again to this E-plate. Looking comfortable at the moment, but still 4 minutes to go. We'll take care of the kart as well. Here's your fight for second place. Harry Bloor and Harley Mason. Not giving this one up. What's the pace like for them? At the moment, it's about the same as Calichurn. All top 3, all in the 46.2s at the moment, pulling away from Willoughby Steele now in 4th place. They've got to find, I'd say they've got to probably find 2 or 3 tenths a lap if they've got any hope of pulling up back towards Jan Calichurn. And the key for Calichurn is that actually the fastest lap of the race, 45.96. That would tell me that race leader's got something in reserve here, should Bloor and Mason start to approach once again. End of lap number 9 then. 2 seconds is the lead for Jan Calichurn. Change further back. Francis Horn has got through past Sasha Bagley for 10th spot, and Harry Morris is also through past Daniel Samir for 12th. William Bryant has also improved a couple of spots on that last lap past Jack Stewart and Lewis Paynton. 2.5 minutes to go. Aidan Mitchell holding ahead of Patrick Leaf there. I think those two drivers maybe want to work together. There's all sorts going on through the Bruno chicane. I can just see out of my window. Try not to mention things that you can't see at home, folks. I just saw 3 wide. I think it's the group of Morris, Samir, Bryant, Stewart and Paynton all trying to share the same piece of road. So expect some moves and positions for those drivers as they go through the order. Yeah, indeed. Bryant up 2 spots, up to 13th. Jack Stewart up 1 as well. Daniel Samir shuffled down 2. Brathwaite down the inside into the Stratford hairpin. Nicely done past Patrick Leaf there, up to 7th place. TWM machine running very nicely indeed. A number of TWM machines in this race, of course, and here again, Brathwaite down the inside and very close with Aidan Mitchell. Aidan Mitchell did a very good job there. Gave Brathwaite just enough room that there wasn't a collision, but at the same time just pinched Brathwaite before the apex of the corner there to prevent Brathwaite being able to get down fully down the inside and take the position. 1 minute 10 to go. Calichurn continue to lead ahead of Bloor, comfortable by 2.5 seconds. As I think Bloor and Mason now have come to the realisation that it's going to be second place at best for them today. They're still going to fight hard for it, I'm sure. In fact, down the inside there is Harley Mason going for second place and getting it. It's your classic Wilkins move. There's a bit of space down the inside. Just having a look at the front bumper there for Harley Mason. A bit of damage. I think the Nassau panel, hot dog panel, some people call them sometimes. Well, that's the later design, isn't it? That's got the cover panel over the top as well for the air. But you see a bit of vibration there on the front nose, on the nose cone for Harley Mason. Contact warning for Harry Bloor as well. Something's happened out there away from our cameras. 5 seconds to go on the clock. Let's see if the last lap board comes out this time around. It does indeed. So Calichurn goes on to that lead lap, onto that final lap in the lead, I should say. Harley Mason having to defend hard now from Harry Bloor for second place. Leah Robinson has got up to fourth as well, has found a way past Willoughby Steele. Bloor to the outside as they go through Stratford. Well dealt with though by Harley Mason. Just made sure that the exit meant that Bloor couldn't get back down the inside on the approach to the Bruno chicane. Bloor going this way and that, just cannot find a way past Harley Mason at the moment. But for Jan Calichurn, into the last couple of corners now to win this race. As there's contact there between Bloor and Mason. But across the line comes Calichurn to take the race victory. Who's going to take second place? It's going to be Mason, I think, ahead of Bloor. Bloor ahead of Mason. So Harry Bloor second, third for Harley Mason, fourth for Leo Robinson, fifth for Willoughby Steele, sixth for Aidan Mitchell, seventh for Monty Brathwaite, eighth for Patrick Leaf, ninth for Francis Horn. Adam Bourne completes the top 10 there in Junior TKM. Well, for Jan Calichurn, a perfect weekend. 2 heat victories and the final victory in the end by 5.5 seconds. Absolutely dominant. A very, very good performance indeed. And well done to all of our Junior TKM drivers. More TKM racing coming up later on in the timetable. For now, though, we get ready for race number 33 out on circuit. The Junior Rotax final is next. Let's have a look at the grid then for race number 33 here at Shenington this weekend. It is the Junior Rotax Max final, and Lizzie Mentier has pole position. Lucas Blanford alongside on the front row. Lloyd Hare and Zach Heslop on row number 2. Devon Nolan and Jack Baker form up row number 3. Torian Alvarez and Jake Woods will be on row number 4. Daniel Gurney and Milo Manderson start on row 5. Omar Cindy and Jake Howarth completes row number 6. Oliver Smith and Iggy Smith form up row 7. Emily Cotty and Vlad Domanchuk start on row 8. Caden Higgins and Ryan Gill on row 9. Callum Gush and William Webb complete the top 20 on row number 10. Shane Chandori, who spoke to Shane earlier, starts alongside Niazi Kamal Ozchina on row number 11. Hamish Forrest and Archie Bottle start on row number 12. We're going to have to cut away from that because we're ready for racing here. Away they go for 10 minutes plus 1 lap in what should be a ferocious Junior Rotax Max final. Already a couple of carts off, or having trouble I should say, towards the back of the grid. Callum Gush is one of them in the number 88, so started in the top 20 and it's immediately going to go down to outside the top 30. The rest of them squabble their way through the first couple of corners and through the Bruno chicane for the first time. Looks like Lizzie Mentier has had a good start here at the front of the order. It's coming through at the end of the first lap here at Shenington, and it is Mentier leading by 0.2 of a second ahead of Lloyd Hare. Third for Lucas Blanford, fourth for Devon Nolan. Zach Heslop and Jack Baker completing the top 6. Alvarez, Gurney, Cindy and Manderson all in the top 10. Long race here. Just the kind of race where one of those drivers from outside the top 5 could work their way through. That was a good move by the number 26 of Zach Heslop, going past Devon Nolan up to 4th place. Mentier and Hare will try and work together, I'm sure. No, down the inside goes Lloyd Hare for the lead of the race and takes it through Wilkins. That's going to attract Lucas Blanford into the discussion. Mentier back down the inside. Hare holds a lane on the outside there to make sure that the lead goes Lloyd Hare's way through the next couple of corners. Good racing here in the junior Rotax category. Nolan and Heslop have swapped positions, so Nolan back up to 4th place there. Into the Bruno chicane. Lizzie Mentia, the body language of that number 50 kart, I think wants to get back into the lead of this race as soon as possible. Is having a look and returns the favour this time through Wilkins. Here comes Blanford looking round the outside, has to just slot back in to 3rd place, but Lizzie Mentia takes the lead of the race once again ahead of Lloyd Hare. We've got a proper race on here in junior Rotax. Omar Cindy sets the new fastest lap of the race in these early stages. 44.070. Hare back down the inside. Takes the lead, but here comes Blanford. Beautifully read by Lucas Blanford. And takes both of them. Fantastic. Saw the opportunity. Saw Hare commit down the inside. Knew that Lloyd Hare was going to be slow off of the hairpin. Found a lane that works way past Lizzie Mentia as well. Look behind, Devon Nolan's joining in the fun, and Zach Heslop. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over the start line at the end of lap number 4. Back comes Lloyd Hare, back down the inside, retakes the lead of the race. Mentia's challenging Blanford now for 2nd spot once more. Well, this isn't running the conventional way for a race here at Shenington at the moment. As down the inside there was Devon Nolan, up to 3rd place. Looks like Zach Heslop, yes indeed, did follow through into 4th place. So Mentia down into 5th spot now. I've seen a lot of exciting racing in junior Rotax this year on the UK karting scene, and this looks like we're getting another good one here. End of lap number 5. Lloyd Hare confirmed as your new race leader. Is down the inside goes Zach Heslop for 3rd place. Through goes Mentia as well, past Devon Nolan. So that's 3rd now for Heslop, 4th for Mentia, 5th now for Heslop. Oliver Smith is coming into this as well. 43.740, new fastest lap of the race for Oliver Smith. The top 9 are covered by 2 seconds at the moment. It's out onto the rough stuff goes Zach Heslop. Got caught out there by Lucas Blanford, but only loses 1 position. So Mentia back up to 3rd. Hare controlling the pace through Wilkins corner. There's a yellow flag out there. There may have been someone fall off through, I think it might be Omar Cindy, because Omar Cindy is falling down the order now. Was inside the top 10. That's a real shame for Omar. Deserved a lot more than what is likely going to be the result now for Omar Cindy, because it's such a big field. It's going to be difficult to fight back from there as Mentia down the inside takes 2nd place away from Blanford. Good opportunity now for Lloyd Hare, because for the first time a race leader has something you could describe as a couple of kart length lead to themselves. But back comes Mentia now. Great pace down the hanger straight, and it's now going to go for the lead. Down the inside has the number 50 ahead. Oh, onto the grass goes Lizzie Mentia. Not happy with that at all. Feels that was a forceful move from Lloyd Hare, but Lloyd Hare retakes the lead of the race for now and has an even bigger lead at the front of the order now. The chasing group must get themselves organised now to pull that number 11 kart back in, as on the scene all of a sudden. We've not seen one of the Pro Train entries at the front so far, and here comes Tobian Alvarez. So Alvarez now up to, I think that's 5th place ahead of Devon Nolan. We said watch out for those drivers in the second half of the top 10. This just feels like the kind of race where one of those drivers could come through. Down the inside goes the number 52, taking a couple of spots. That's Jack Baker filing through. Back comes the number 26 as well of Heslop. So the Heslop back up to 6th spot now through Park Corner there. But has Lloyd Hare now got into a bit of a stride? That was a new personal best last time around, 43.89, as Milo Manderson's having a difficult couple of moments. He's on the outside line, he's losing positions. There goes through Iggy Smith in the number 14. I think Ryan Gill and possibly William Webb have all gone through as well. Milo Manderson's going to be sliding outside of the top 10 in this particular count through, as contact warning for Jake Woods. Big lap there from Mentia, 43.58, new fastest or personal best of the race so far for Mentia. Crucially, has pulled the lead back down to 0.25 of a second, as through once again goes Iggy Smith on Milo Manderson, retakes 11th spot. Everywhere you look in this race, there's overtakes and battles going on. There's another one, Manderson down the inside. Oh, contact there between the two JDR carts. That was Caden Higgins touching wheels with Iggy Smith, who also lost out to Jake Woods there. So the JWR machine going through. My oh my, what a race we're seeing again here in Junior Rotax. Quite often been the racing that we've seen here on Alpha Live, the DDMM commentaries. Some of the most exciting racing of the year so far, and it's not disappointing here in the SuperPrix. Down the inside goes Blanford, retakes third place for a moment. Is going to be side by side with Alvarez as they go towards the Bruno chicane. Still side by side as they go through the Bruno chicane, but I think Blanford has got the move done. Devon Nolan's been balked a little bit there by a slow moving Alvarez off of the Bruno chicane. That's allowed Zach Heslop to get back down the inside, but again back down the inside now comes Alvarez, retakes another spot. But all the while at the front of the order, Hare still leads from Mentia, less than 2 minutes to go. Jake Howarth has had a contact warning in the number 31. Which of these drivers is going to be crowned SuperPrix champion for 2023? Is it going to be Lloyd Hare? Is it going to be Lizzie Mentia? Is it going to be Lucas Blanford? So much has happened so far in this race. You, in a way, wouldn't be surprised if there's more incidents between now and the checkered flag, but that's good defence from Lloyd Hare down the inside. Ticks off another lap. 12 laps completed now. Hare and Mentia. Mentia has a little bit of a nibble through Cafe Corner there. He's just trying to put Lloyd Hare off at the moment, but I would say from the body language of Lloyd Hare at the moment, he's driving very precisely, very nicely indeed. Just checking over the shoulder to see where the front of that number 50 cart is. Another contact warning, this time it's the number 39 of Omar Sindhi. Difficult situation to read this, I think, if you're Lloyd Hare. Don't want to defend too much because that'll bring the likes of Blanford, Alvarez, Heslop, Baker, all of them back in. You never know, you could fall off the podium completely, but at the same time, don't defend. Mentia will go for the move, take the lead of the race, and you never know if you're going to get another opportunity to get it back. 2 more laps to go then. Lloyd Hare has controlled this race from the mid stage. We are into the latter stages now. Still the top 10 covered by less than 5 seconds. Down the inside there goes Zach Heslop, takes 4th place. Where does Lizzie Mentia trying to make a move through there into Wilkins? It is a very good spot to make an overtake, but Lloyd Hare is positioning that number 11 cart very well indeed. Mentia has another look down the inside into Park. Lloyd Hare carries such great speed through those first few corners. Will surely defend to the inside now. Exit of Stratford very important, but Hare's dealt with that very well once again. We'll just move over to the centre of the road to stop Mentia having a chance into the Bruno chicane. Ticking off these corners one by one. Can Lloyd Hare hold on for race victory here in Junior Rotax for the 2023 Shenington SuperPrix? Surely down into Wilkins. This is where it's going to be decided. Off the final corner. I don't think Lizzie Mentia is going to have the opportunity. Lloyd Hare holds on for victory here at Shenington. A brilliant victory in a fantastic final for Junior Rotax. Takes the win by 0.07 seconds ahead of Lizzie Mentia, who is on the podium, 3rd place. Also on the podium is Lucas Blanford. 4th for Devon Nolan, 5th for Zach Heslop. Oliver Smith, Tobian Alvarez, Jack Baker, Ryan Gill and William Webb all inside the provisional top 10 in what I expected to be a very entertaining Junior Rotax final, and it delivered. Very good stuff from all of our Junior Rotax drivers. Very good stuff indeed. We'll definitely watch that one back on the Alpha live stream later on, and if you have missed any of the races, don't worry, you will be able to watch them all back free of charge on demand after the event. We're going to move on though. Next final out on circuit, it's TKM Extreme and TKM Clubman. Time for race number 34, and it's two finals for the price of one here for TKM Clubman and TKM Extreme. Alistair Cresswell has pole position. All of these runners being extreme runners at the front of the order. So Cresswell alongside Joe Cheek, P2 on the grid. Harvey Roth and Alfie Garford form up row number 2. Ashton Cox and Kai Springfield start on row number 3. Aaron Lask and Charlie King on row 4. Spencer Lane and Bradley Peck complete the top 10 on row 5. Joseph Booth and Gareth Haynes start on row number 6, with William Bloom and Olivia Jenkins starting on row 7. Luke Jarman and Andrew Platt form up row number 8. And then we get into our Clubman entries. Harry Maynard and Will Hulaki overall on row number 9. Row number 10 sees Craig Summers, another driver with a good record round here. Alongside Craig on row 10 is Guy Tolley. Ben Spencer and Jim Rogers on row 11. Matthew Swanston and Ben Packman form up row number 12. Jack Crisp and Scott Hinton start on row 13. Tom Bird and James Munro on row 14. Adam Kent and Callum Hambley form up row number 15. Scott Hambley and Holly O'Farrell complete row 16. Sam Cope, the last of the 33 expected runners in this joint final. All TKM powered entries, TKM Extreme and TKM Clubman. Well, for Alistair Cresswell and Will Hulaki, perfect weekends in their classifications so far. Both of them with class wins. And 2 heats that these categories have shared so far this weekend. They came through qualifying with 0 points to their name, as opposed to those behind. Very close in TKM Extreme. 3 drivers ending the heats with 8 points, so it's decided by fastest lap for Joe Cheek, Harvey Roth and Alfie Garford in that order. Are we ready to go then? We're going to go around again for at least one more formation lap, or half formation lap, because we'll go through the cut through here at Shenington. I hope you enjoyed the coverage. Hello to Timo Youngling, who's watching, and Jack Hobson as well. Thank you guys, good to hear from you. Kane Langley as well. Keep the comments coming in, everybody. Apologies, I'm not really having much opportunity to go through them today, but it's a very fast, very efficient programme that's being run here today for the Shenington SuperPrix 2023. I do think we are now under starters orders for the TKM Extreme and TKM Clubman final. Red number plates for the Extremes, white number plates for the Clubmans. Away go the Extremes for 10 minutes plus 1 lap, and it's a good start for the E-plate holder at the moment. Alistair Cresswell leads as they go through the first couple of turns. Harvey Roth is up to second place already. Away go the TKM Clubmans as well. I can see out of my window, just watching them all come through the first couple of corners safely. It is the number 19 of Will Hulaki at the front of the order. Down towards the Stratford hairpin they go. Back with the extreme runners then through the Bruno chicane. All looking pretty clean so far. Will Hulaki at the front of that order there, going through the Stratford hairpin. He's been able to hold on to the lead. It's been also a good start for Guy Tolley there in the number 35. The red and white bodywork on his TKM Extreme, TKM Clubman entry. End of lap number 1 then. Cresswell leading from Roth, Cheek in 3rd, Cox 4th, Garford, Lask, Booth, Bloom, Springfield and Lane. That is your top 10 in Extreme. End of lap number 1 for Clubman, Hulaki leads from Tolley, Summers, Rogers, Spencer, Swanston, Packman, Hinton, Crisp, Munro. That is your top 10 in the Clubman category. We've got one driver already off the road and out of the race. Can't quite make out who it might be at the moment, so we'll track that through. You can see a Kart off, 2 drivers left on the approach to Stratford. Position changes to report. Up to 4th place, Garford. Lask up to 5th, Ashton Cox shuffled down to 6th. Good lap there as well for Charlie King, up 2 spots up to 9th. So 8 minutes to go then. Alistair Cresswell controlling things at the front of the order. In the extreme category, some of the most experienced drivers across this paddock here in TKM Extreme. A very, very good field that we've got here this weekend. Aaron Lask moving up through the order, the number 3 plate holder, of course, after 2022. Has Aaron Lask saved something here for a big run towards the end of this weekend? He's got 7.5 minutes to do it, and that's moving in the right direction for Lask, up to 4th place. Down the inside there, that was lovely from Charlie King. Classic Motorsport driver moving up through the order, takes 8th place away from William Bloom. Will Halaki continuing to control things ahead of Craig Summers. Craig Summers, who was on for a victory in this race a few years ago, and one that very much sticks in the mind. Back a few years back, we had a sequence of retirees from the race in TKM Clubman, which then opened the door for your current TKM Clubman race leader. It's 2018 final where Will Hulaki took the victory in that one. It's down the inside there. Now that's a key one. That's for 2nd place. So Joe Cheek goes for one down the inside into Stratford. Harvey Roth was fairly compliant with that one. He would prefer to be 2nd in a train to try and chase down the ever-dominant Alistair Cresswell. Down the inside as well, this time on Lask. That's Garford going through. The Veritools liveried machine. Garford back up to 4th, and Ashton Cox managed to find a way through there as well, up into 5th spot. Mid-stage of the race then, 6 minutes remaining on the clock. Cresswell doing all right, but Joe Cheek will be buoyed by a 45.42 last time around. Reason why, that was a 10th quicker than Cresswell ahead. So if he keeps that rate, Alistair Cresswell is going to have some work to do here. As down the inside into Wilkins, it's the number 58 moving up through the order. That's Ashton Cox once again, 4th place now for Cox. Having a good mid-phase of this race, and through goes Charlie King as well. Charlie King, seed number 6 from last year, as now out of the race, I think is the number 93. Yes, it is Harry Maynard. A tough weekend for Harry Maynard. Finishes there in TKM Extreme. Off your screen, you can see him coming into the pit lane below us. No change, by the way, at the front of the order in Clubman. Still Halaki from Summers, Tolley, Swanston and Rogers. That is your top 5. Change for 2nd place now. Harvey Roth back ahead of Joe Cheek. They are pulling in the leader though. Cresswell 45.6 last time around. Roth 45.5. You can see, Cresswell knows the situation. He's having to push hard here. It's maybe being saved at the moment by the fact that these two drivers keep swapping positions back and forth, but Cheek back up the inside, retakes 2nd place. I don't think it'll be a couple of laps if these two can work together as a train. It could pull Cresswell back in here. That would really be a test for Alistair Cresswell. But down the inside once again. goes Harvey Roth, and this time chops off the nose of Joe Cheek, saying no, not coming through there. I want to hold this place in second. And but the thing is, they lost some time there. 3/10 went out. So Alistair Cresswell now back to a 1.2 second lead. Good move there by Charlie King, up to 4th place, gets past Ashton Cox. And for King, who started a bit further down the order in this one. It's another move there being pulled in by Kai Springfield. Kai Springfield's coming nicely into this. Was the fastest lap of the race, or is still the fastest lap of the race holder, as Ashton Cox is being shuffled down the order as well now. Started 6th, went backwards a bit, is now back up to 6th place. Three minutes to go. Second place drivers have swapped back again, Cheek and Roth, and it's a curious situation this, because a few laps ago it looked like Cresswell was going to be caught. Cheek and Roth have now dropped back 1.5 seconds in the lead, and now going to be having to look over the shoulders at the likes of Charlie King and Kai Springfield, because they're closing in. There's William Bloom down the inside, takes another position. Past Alfie Garford up to 6th place. Gap between the two leaders in Clubman, by the way, 0.2 of a second. Craig Summers all over the back of Will Hulacki, as once again down the inside goes Harvey Roth, but here comes Charlie King, and into a part of the course where Charlie King has been particularly strong so far today. Roth's going to defend to the inside. Here comes Charlie King down the inside of Joe Cheek. He's going to be on the outside now. He's going to have to go a long way around the outside. Surely that's not going to work as they go through Pitts Bend. Very entertaining racing here. Harvey Roth, I think, has gone and taken the decision that second is going to be the best that they can get here today. Oh, all over the curb. There is Joe Cheek. That would have felt a little bit uncomfortable. Through goes King. I think Springfield's getting involved as well. A lot to be decided here in the podium positions. In fact, there's just a reminder as well in Clubman, there's a great four-way scrap at the front of it between Hulacki, Summers, Tolley and Swanston. There is your race leader in Extreme, Alistair Cresswell, 2.85 seconds clear of the rest of the field now. Harvey Roth doing a fantastic job at the moment to hold on to this second place, but it's now the fastest man on the circuit, Kai Springfield, all over the back in the number 97. Charlie King trying to go round the outside. Has he got enough room to make a brilliant move there for third place? He wrestles his way in. Brilliant from Charlie King. But can he find a way past Harvey Roth? Is holding the whole field here. Is defending for everything here for second place. Still a minute to go in this one. There's always a bit of contact there. Wide goes Harvey Roth. Through Wilkins, and Charlie King's going to come through in second place. But now Kai Springfield is through into third as well. Actually had no net change through that particular lap. They're all squabbling for fourth, fifth, sixth, and everything else regards the top 10. For King and Springfield, I think you've just got to spend one lap getting away from this gaggle of karts, and it all breaks down. It's Lask, and a bit of a gesture there from Joe Cheek. Not too happy about that at all. They're out of the running. You kind of felt it was inevitable in everything that was going on there. Just tangled together. Too many karts all trying to share the same bit of road as they went through the Stratford hairpin. There may be another lap sneaked in here yet, and there is indeed. Cresswell comes across the line with about 5 seconds remaining on the clock, so 2 more laps then. Change in Clubman. Craig Summers has got to the front of the order ahead of Will Hulacki, and Hulacki has not lost a race so far this weekend. He's going to go on to the last couple of laps, having to find a way past the very experienced Craig Summers. That was the O-plate of Harvey Roth back down the inside. Retakes third place away from Kai Springfield. So Harvey Roth trying to get back into second place here. Well, I think Alistair Cresswell's going to maybe watch this race back later if he can complete this race victory and wonder what on earth was happening behind. Everything was happening behind. As through goes Roth again into second place. Final lap board is out. Alistair Cresswell calmly moves his way through Cafe Curve. Anything but calm behind. As through again goes Charlie King into second place. Roth out wide falls down to 5th place, as Garford has got through as well. Springfield back onto the podium, back into 3rd place. Ashton Cox is not out of this. Well, we thought Ashton Cox was fading in the mid-phase, but has held something for the latter stages. Can see out of my window as well. It's all going on in Clubman as Hulaki has got back ahead of Craig Summers, but for Alistair Cresswell, it's going to be victory. Oh, there's a real mess for 2nd place, and out goes King, out goes Springfield. Cresswell takes the race victory. Who's going to survive for 2nd place? It's Garford. Garford takes 2nd ahead of Roth. Alistair Cresswell, it's victory in TKM Extreme, and here's the battle in Clubman. Craig Summers has got ahead of Will Hulaki. There's going to be yellow flags. Can he get off the corner? Is Craig Summers going to take victory? Is Will Hulaki going to sneak it in there at the end? It's Summers. Craig Summers wins in TKM Clubman in a frankly bonkers final for both TKM categories. It's Alistair Cresswell from Alfie Garford and Harvey Roth, your 1, 2, 3 in Extreme. Craig Summers from Will Hulaki from Guy Tolley, your 1, 2, 3 in Clubman. I'm not quite sure how on earth I summarised that one in a few words. That was probably the best final that we've seen so far here today for excitement. Unfortunately, we're going to have to move on to the next category. The racing keeps coming here at Shenington. Next up out on circuit, it is the X30 Junior final. Wow, well, let's catch our breaths after that that amazing double TKM final and get ready for the X30 Junior final. Here is your grid for it. It's the top 30 all qualifying through automatically from the heat programme earlier on this weekend. Freddie Lloyd has pole position. Fred Green joins alongside on the front row. Harrison Mackie and Zach Green go from row number 2. Taylor Orridge has been very racy through the heats. Didn't have a good entire qualifying, but good performances in the heats. Gives Taylor Orridge row 3 and is joined by Joey Brown. On row number 4 then, Lewis Islin and Lewis Bird. Macaulay Bishop, look out for Bishop from row number 5. Thomas Minspearing alongside on that one. Hadi Mamasi, last year's winner in this race. Won it from row 3 last year. This year he's going to have to do it from row 6 and is joined by James Shotton. On that one, Aston Sharp and Harry Bartle go from row 7. Isaac Phelps and Charlie Morrison-Jones from row 8. Monjuna Kanini and Flynn McDermott go from the 9th row of the grid. Kenzo Craigie and Joseph Smith from row 10. Riley Cranham and George Robinson row 11. Kean Garrity and Ewan Charman, lots of experience there on the 12th row of the grid. As we move down to row 13, we find Jensen Graham and Luke Sintler. Mayan Patel and Alexander Savinkov go from row 14. Henry Carter and Tristan Powell from row number 15. And then our qualifiers through from the B final: Sam Woolley, Rocker Shenton, Laith Khan and Macaulay Guy. Away we go then for the X30 Junior final into the first couple of corners. Oh, and there's all sorts going on there in the middle of the pack. The number 11, 73 and 31 have all gone. That's Joey Brown in trouble, of the highest of those runners. And the start, I think, has been called good. So that is their hopes of taking victory here today completely gone already. Round Wilkins for the first time. It's a good group of them at the front of the order. As off there is Bishop and another driver involved as well. Down through Wilkins, as through goes Fred Green. The number 51 for Jamie Green Racing takes the lead of the race away from Freddie Lloyd through the first couple of corners there, but big drama. Bishop, Kanini, Brown, I think Laith Khan might have had a compromised start as well in this X30 Junior final. Well, Macaulay Bishop, who is surely one of the favourites before this weekend, out of the race effectively at the end of lap 1, as down the inside here comes Zach Green. It's a green 1-2 at the end of lap number 2. Taylor Orridge is up to 3rd as well. We mentioned how much overtaking Taylor Orridge has done so far this weekend, and he's out for more. He's got down the inside of Zach Green, takes 2nd place. Aston Sharp's looking pretty quick in this early phase of the race as well. They're in 8th place. Down the inside goes Freddie Lloyd, trying to fight back here. Takes 3rd place away from Zach Green. At the moment, they're all trying to get on top of the pace of Fred Green at the moment, who's able to be a bit comfortable at the wheel at the moment. Half a second out of ahead of the rest of the field. Oh, down the inside there goes Zach Green. Had a couple of stabs at that down the inside into Wilkins, made it work. Harrison Mackie at the back of this group as well. Through goes Freddie Lloyd, retakes 3rd place away from Zach Green. Well, with such a big grid, a competitive grid, this was always going to be one of the contenders for final of the day. So far, this has been a very, very good race. There goes Mackie through. Fusion Runners just starting to get on top of things here in this race. It's always going to be quite frantic in the early stages. King Gerrity's had a good start. You see there, King Gerrity's up to 11th place. And started somewhere around the mid-20s. That's a remarkable amount of progress for only 3 laps. Taylor Orridge, fastest driver on circuit, 43.40, and has got eyes on the back of the number 51 there, Fred Green, closing in very quickly. 2 Argenti entries fighting there. Through goes the number 44 of Kenzo Craigie. Gains a position, is up to 8th spot. How does Orridge play this now? Just checks over his shoulder, sees that there's no immediate threat from behind, so maybe takes the option of just pushing Fred Green along for at least half a lap here, sees what the pace in tandem is like between the 51 and the 66. They're being caught by Lloyd, Mackie and Zach Green behind. Maybe that's when Taylor Orridge goes to the move, but right now it's just happy to just sit there in the tow of Fred Green, who's driven a very good race so far. Got the good start that he needed. He's controlled things so far. King Gerrity, currently your fastest driver on circuit, 3.1 seconds off. It's up to 9th place now. King Gerrity is absolutely tearing his way through this order. Back with our race leaders as they go through Wilkins, and now Fred Green takes a defensive line on the approach to Wilkins there. Wants to keep himself at the front of this order, but I think he's going to have to concede to Taylor Orridge, who goes through into Park Bend. Had a good run up alongside the JGR machine and the new fastest lap of the race. Very important lap this now for Taylor Orridge to stamp his authority on the rest of the field, because there is the chasing pack. Not too far behind, probably 1.2, 1.3 seconds. So they have closed in through the first sector whilst Orridge was making that move past Fred Green, and there was the communication there between Orridge and Green. So yeah, happy to move with this. Let's keep working together. Long way to go, 5 minutes and 1 more lap of this one to go. Let's not attract the second chasing group back in here. Freddie Lloyd at the front of it, Zach Green 4th, Ashton Sharp in 5th, Lewis Island. King Gerrity continues. I wonder if it's one of those where he's saved tyres a bit here for this final, because Kean Gerrity, what's impressive here, Kean Gerrity is closing in on the leaders despite being in traffic. Look out for that number 9 kart. Zach Green looking keen to get past Freddie Lloyd now as they go out of the Bruno chicane. 4.25 minutes to go. Is there a space there for Zach Green? There is. It's a beautiful move down the inside. Takes 3rd place through Wilkins. It's a JGR 2-3 at the moment. But for Croc Promotions, Taylor Orridge at the front of this order with 4 minutes remaining. What's the pace like at the moment? 43.4 for Orridge, 43.6 for Fred Green, 43.5 for Zach Green. Is through again. There goes Kean Gerrity, gaining another spot. Question is, has Kean Gerrity got enough time here to come through this order? Putting in a very good performance here that potentially could be. So there's a few trophies to be awarded at the end of the day. Oh, that was the number 25 of Aston Sharp. Aston Sharp getting a bit mixed up there. He's up to 4th place. Kean Gerrity now 5th. So the Gil Rickson Trophy for Junior Driver of the Day very much could be decided from one of the drivers from this race. Big thanks as always to the Rickson family for their support, as that's all getting a little bit tight for Lewis Islin, who's forced out onto the grass. I think that may have been contact with Aston Sharp or one of the other drivers, but poor Lewis Islin is going to be shuffled down the order now, probably lose that spot in the top 10. That was all coming off of the Stratford hairpin, where it does get very tight with that large curb on driver's left. Less than 3 minutes to go now. Orridge and Fred Green in the first duo. Zach Green and Cian Geraghty in the second group. Just to remind you, Cian Geraghty has, down the inside there. No, we'll focus on Freddie Lloyd going for a big move there to take 6th place. Lewis Islin did get running again, by the way. I think he's now down in around 12th place. Orridge continuing to lead this one. Yeah, Cian Geraghty started this race from 23rd on the grid and is now up to 3rd place. But is there enough time for Cian Geraghty to close in a nearly 2.5 second gap on Fred Green and Taylor Orridge ahead, especially as Fred Green has just set the fastest lap of the race so far, 43.25 seconds. Plenty of other overtakes going on further back. Harrison Mackey's lost a few spots to the likes of Islin, Mimasi and McDermott. But the focus at the front of the group now, at the front of the field, 2 by 2. 1st through 4th. What can the second group do about the pace of Orridge and Fred Green ahead? At the moment it's pretty similar. It's been a well-controlled race by Taylor Orridge and Fred Green. They've put the hard work in and now they've got the potential reward, but I'd say it's still too early for them to fight. Because now down the inside, Fred Green goes for the move and takes the lead of the race. And didn't lose too much time with that as well. Taylor Orridge has gone back down the inside. Has he gone too deep? He has gone too deep. Through the Bruno chicane. Through everything at Fred Green there. But Fred Green retakes the lead of the race. There'll be 2 more laps of this one. About 30 seconds on the clock as they come over the line. Now, crucially, how much time are they losing to Geraghty and Zach Green behind? They lost 9/10. They lost 9/10. If it keeps going at this rate, Cian Geraghty and Zach Green are going to have an opportunity here on the last lap of the race. Fred Green down the inside. Taylor Orridge to the outside. Is there going to be space for Orridge to switch back on the exit of Stratford? No, there isn't. Down the middle of the road for Fred Green, but Geraghty and Zach Green are closing all the time through the Bruno chicane. They just want this fight to continue so they have an opportunity on the final tour of the circuit, which will start in a few moments' time. Is Orridge down the inside enough? There's a little bit of contact between the two of them. Orridge goes through, bit of bumper rubbing there between the two of them, but that looks okay to me. Final lap board is out, but there is Geraghty in 3rd. There is Zach Green in 4th. Who are charging along. They've worked really well together the last couple of laps. Are they going to have an opportunity? Orridge leads down into the Stratford hairpin. Fred Green to the outside. Good defensive driving there from Taylor Orridge, but Cian Geraghty has now caught them. This would be a remarkable win if Cian Geraghty could get it from 23rd on the grid, but has got to find a way past Fred Green and Taylor Orridge first. Orridge still has the lead as they come off the Bruno chicane into Wilkins for one final time. Fred Green goes through and Cian Geraghty goes through as well. Fred Green's going to take it on the line in X30 Junior. 2nd place for Cian Geraghty. Taylor Orridge not too pleased at all there in 3rd. Zach Green 4th. 5th for Lewis Bird. 6th for Freddie Lloyd. 7th for Aston Sharp, Kenzo Craigie 8th, Lewis Islin 9th, and Thomas Minspearing finishes in 10th place in an amazing X30 Junior final. The drivers discussing things with one another there, and what a drive from all of those, but in particular Cian Geraghty from so far down the grid to get a podium. Well done to all of those drivers. Another E-plate decided. Next out on circuit, though, another joint final. The Formula Libre and Senior Rotax final is next. Let's rattle through the grid then for this joint final, starting with Sam Baker and James Tester on the front row of the grid. Tom Patterson and Harry Pullen start on row number 2. Brentley Sims and David Marshall start on row number 3. John Hobbs and Ryan Ward go from row 4. Ethan Bentley and Romero Nubi start on row 5. Alex Warnaby and Adriel Ungwa start there on the 6th row of the grid. Will Forber and Finley Patterson start on row 7. Ryan Hedge and Alfie Bray go from row 8. Josh Derry and Alex Jones start on row number 9. Rhys Baines and John Luke Bobby start on row number 10. Marcus Smith and Andrew Silvers on row 11. Rhys Masters and Pierce Armstrong go from the 12th row of the grid. And then on row 13 we are into the Formula Libres now. Belton, Leonard, Mallinson, Baines, Bobby, Tester, Baker and Coburn are your runners in Formula Libre. We are underway then for the senior Rotax category. They've been set off for 10 minutes plus 1 lap, and through come the Formula Libres through the first couple of corners as well. I can see out of my commentary box window, all looking pretty clean, all looking good for the start of this one. So round to complete the first lap of the race then. Let's count them through. It is the number 51 of Sam Baker at the front of the order in Senior Rotax. James Tester second, Tom Patterson third, Harry Pullen and Brentley Sims. Oh, as there's contact there down at the Stratford hairpin. I think that was the number 26 of Paul Belton in contact with another driver. Apologies, I didn't quite catch who the other one was. It might have been Harple Baines or Finley Leonard, who's been through the first sector a touch slower than normal there. Rhys Baines currently leading for those in the Formula Libre competition. Harry Pullen there at the front of the chasing group on your screens. So got up to second place now. 0.8 of a second is the lead for Sam Baker at the front at the moment. For this category, sponsored this year by the TCR UK Touring Car Championship. Fantastic competition. And very kindly for the Formula Libres are giving a day out for some of our drivers, as the number 51 of Sam Baker is already having to find a way through some of the lap traffic. That is Paul Belton, who had trouble on the first lap of the race. And the blue flag is out. But TCR UK, lots of racing to be watched here on Alpha Live, of course, next weekend up at Knock Hill. Tune in for that alongside British Kart Championship action here at Shenington for the next round of those championships. Plenty, as I say, to watch here on Alpha Live next weekend. Make sure that you have subscribed, click the notification bell and all of that YouTube business for more. Plenty of overtaking going on there through the Stratford hairpin. At least trying, is James Tester there, trying to find a way past Harry Pullen, who has lost out, I think, on this lap to Tom Patterson. Yes, indeed. Patterson and the yellow cart there. The blue and yellow, well, I was about to say he's got up to second place, but has just been overtaken by Harry Pullen. Oh, it's off! And that's a broken stub axle there for one of, I think, is that Alex Warnaby? It is Alex Warnaby. Well, that is very good to see that Alex is okay, because that will have been a scary one. As out is the 87 of Josh Derry. Josh Derry, who was up in 5th or 6th place in the Formula Libre competition. They're out of the race now as well. My goodness me, that will have been a scary one for Alex Warnaby to have a stub axle failure deep into the braking zone through on the entry to Wilkins there. The gravel traps and tyre barriers doing their job, and Alex able to walk away from that one. Meanwhile, this is the battle at the front of Formula Libre. This is John Luke Bobby in the number 97 fighting with Alex Jones, the number 78, and the 13 of Rhys Baines. So Rhys Baines has dropped back a bit here, having led early on in this category, going through the Bruno chicane now, onto the Hanger Straight. The Formula Libre competition working in a similar way to what we saw earlier with the TKM Extreme and TKM Clubman categories. Often those with older machinery, still running to similar regulations to the senior Rotax competitions, the chance to race. It's a very competitive category. Great to see it's grown this year as well here at the Shenington SuperPrix. Good number of entries more for 2023. What has been a bumper capacity entry of 320 drivers across around 15 categories that we've got here this weekend. Putting on some fantastic racing, rain or shine, and boy oh boy have we had a lot of both in somewhat equal measure so far this weekend. The sun has come out here for the finals. A bit of rain earlier on this afternoon. Looking around, not too much of a threat of rain so far in this race. Again, looking down to Wilkins Corner, not too many clouds forming down there, which is good news for all out on circuits, in whatever capacity they are out on circuits in. A couple of position changes to report in the senior Rotax category. Looks like Ryan Ward has got past John Hobbs for 8th place. Will Forbes has also got past Alfie Bray. Oh, let's look at this. Side by side. I think that was for 2nd place. It's Harry Pullen going around the outside of Tom Patterson there. Yes, he was. In that great battle. There is some lapped traffic, I think, for the race leader to deal with as well. Yeah, that's Richard Mallinson, just been overtaken there by the race leader, Sam Baker. He knows this track very, very well, knows this machinery that he's on, the JDR machine, very, very well. He's been in this position before. Ooh, a bit of a moment there for Harry Pullen, runs out wide, and that's going to be Patterson back through into 2nd place. Very tricky for the race leaders at the moment. Near moment there for one of the runners in senior Rotax, just trying to get round Mallinson. The number 77 and 38 come through as well, so that's Ubi now ahead of Bentley. Bentley Sims trying to go around the outside of Mallinson. Mallinson apologetic on the Hanger Straight there. 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Still Baker ahead of Patterson comfortably by a second, and actually this is a good phase of the race for Sam Baker, because as he's working his way through this traffic and through the higher runners now in the Formula Libre categories, they're actually acting as a defence mechanism to Harry Pullen behind. Formula Libre is being compliant, of course, letting the subtly faster senior Rotax entries through. Pass through some more traffic goes Romarian Ubi's had a really good race here as Romarian. Up to 6th place now. Getting along with things very nicely indeed. That's Pierce Armstrong in the number 27, just ahead of Pullen at the moment. Currently running in, what was that, around 7th place in Formula Libre. That tells you how far through the Formula Libre order they've got. That's the number 13 as well. That's of Reese Baines. Oh, contact there! And that's going to be the number 60 of Brentley Sims in a spot of bother, and it was contact with Romarian Newby. So Sims was up in the air. That was for position, and fortunately for Romarian Ubi, that is the end of Romarian's race. Was running well up to that point in the top 6, but just misjudged that one. Made contact. There'll be damage to the front left, as here's the fight between David Marshall and Brentley Sims. That's over 8th place now. 90 seconds to go in this final. Harry Pullen trying to find a way through all of the track. No, that's actually for position. No, that's James Tester back through past Pullen. So that's Tester up to 3rd place. Patterson has got down the road as well. who's clear in second place. Sam Baker in control at the front of Senior Rotax. No change for the front of Libre as John-Luc Bobby is at the front of that one. A great scrap going on here for third place. Ethan Bentley's quietly got on with things here. Is in fifth place. Ryan Ward as well in sixth. They could be sniffing opportunities of a spot on the podium. Here is the fight in Libre. Is down the inside. There goes Alex Jones. Takes the lead of the race ahead of John-Luc Bobby. And the number 92 of Tom Patterson is involved there as well. That's him putting a lap on the front runners in Libre. The trouble is the higher he gets up the order, the more the drivers in Libre are going to be not particularly wanting to let him through because they don't want to lose positions in their own category. But I've got to say, John-Luc Bobby's done very well there to control that situation. Here comes Tester down the inside. Nicely lets Tester through. It looks like Ethan Bentley has got through into fourth place. But for Bobby, this is all about trying to control his own destiny in his classification. As down the inside goes Jones, gets through in the number 97. Final lap board is now out. For Harry Pullen, it's just not quite worked in this race. Shuffle down the order. There goes the number 15 of Ryan Ward down the inside of Alex Jones, leading in Libre. Sam Baker, though, we haven't seen too much of Sam Baker in this race. It's been a very good performance from Sam Baker. 3 seconds clear, just coming through the Bruno chicane now, as indicated by our driver Chaka. But Baker's going to take a comfortable victory here in Senior Rotax. A very well-deserved victory. It's been on form so far this weekend. The battle rages on in Libre as well, but it's Baker who wins it from Patterson, Tester, Bentley and Pullen, and it's a win for Alex Jones in Formula Libre. Brilliant victories for both Sam Baker and Alex Jones here at the Shenington SuperPrix. Superb work from both of them. John-Luc Bobby is on the podium in Libre as well, as is Rhys Baines. That's your 1, 2, 3. And top novice as well, Marcus Smith in fourth place in Libre. Andrew Silver's completing the top 5. That was a race all about placement of your kart on the road whilst maintaining pace, and that's exactly what both of our category winners did. Well done to all those drivers. We're going to move on now, and it's something a little bit different for the next couple of races as we go to the gearbox classes. KZ2 are out next. As we say, we change things up now with the first of our gearbox finals here this afternoon. KZ2, sponsored by Verneas Broadband, take to the track, and Dan McCowan will have pole position for this one. James Glenister, the number 2 driver in the country from 2022, alongside on the front row. Nat Thomas and Derek Morgan start on row 2. Rhys Ushijima and Ella Stevens start on the third row of the grid. Jake Weston and Charlie Turner go from row 4. Ryan Green and Ashley Lewis will have opportunities from row 5. Bo Phillips and Zilvinas Clemas go from row number 6. And then we find Thomas Clyde and Harvey Ryby on row number 7. Bradley Calder and Jamie Perry complete the 16 kart entry here for KZ2. And some of the fastest karts, if not the fastest karts, that we see here this weekend about to take to the circuit. Big thanks to Verneas Broadband, who've been present here on site all weekend. They're sponsoring this one, and KZ2 podium winners will all get VIP family tickets to TCR UK as well, and of course the Gearbox KZ Driver of the Day trophy in memory of Stephen Coward is up to be competed for here in this race. couple of changes, of course, just being made. We go to the longer format of circuit with the longer run down to the other version of the Stratford corner in play here. So I'm sure that we're just making sure that marshals and officials are in correct positions. So Dan McKeown starts off the formation lap in kart number 75. Very close in the heat points so far this weekend. McKeown with 5, Glenister 6, Thomas, Morgan and Usajima all finished with 7. The 3 of those drivers being separated by fastest lap time across the races, 50.97, giving it to Thomas. Onto the trackside for these drivers was a thrill yesterday. It's going to be a thrill, I'm sure, whether you're trackside here at the circuit right now or watching at home on the Alpha Live stream. Everyone has been looking forward to this KZ2 final. Decent grid of them as well, 16 out on circuit. And number 19 of Bradley Calder going through your shot there, our single novice in this category. And of course it'll be 10 minutes plus 1 lap once again. Now you see the drivers now on the longer run from Stratford to Bruno Chicane, which I think for me, not that I'm speaking from experience on this one. Oh no, is there problems there for Ryan Green in the number 26? I think there is. I think he's lost throttle. You can see him pumping at the throttle there, trying to find some drive, but unfortunately I think we're already down one of our KZ2s. Ryan Green has come to a stop on the approach to the Bruno Chicane, which, to come back to that, is probably the corner with the biggest difference to the other formats that we've seen so far, because it's that longer run out of Stratford corner, picking up more speed towards the tightest, trickiest braking zones on the circuit. And it'll of course be a standing start for the KZ2s. The number 75 of Dan McKeown forms up the front row of the grid on the inside there. James Glenister in the number 2. The 70 of Nat Thomas next up in 3rd. Is there anything more pulsating in karting than a gearbox standing start? And we're going to go for one more formation lap actually. I think this might be due to the situation with Ryan Green. The driver will go through the super short cut through. They immediately turn right at the end of the Park Straight, and then go around Cafe Corner and through the cut through at Pitts Bend. As there is Ryan Green trying to get that kart moving again, but no, I think it's the end of the day unfortunately for Ryan in the number 26. He's due to start on the grid 9. But we'll go no further. So they'll form up again. McKeown, Glenister, Thomas. 1, 2, 3 from right to left on your screens. But in these KZ2 races, the start, such an important part of things. I think we are good to go. A lot of variance can happen off the start, and away we go. Very good start for McKeown. Will take the lead into turn 1. Good start as well for James Glenister. Slots into P2. Great start for the number 72 of Usajima. Usajima up to 3rd from 5th place on the grid there. The long run down now towards the Stratford corner format 4 gearbox. Usajima down the inside takes 2nd place away from Glenister, heading towards the Bruno Chicane now. Look at the speed that they build up to here as they thread their way through what is a very tight corner for these big machines, but it's a good start for everybody still running. No Ryan Green, sadly, of course, in this race. Technical problems on the formation lap. There's also a mechanical flag out straight away for Ashley Lewis. So the number 24 that started P10 on the grid is going to have to come into pit lane in the early stages of this one. A good attempt there by Jake Weston in the number 16 to take 6th place away from Nat Thomas, who didn't have a good start at all did Nat Thomas from grid 3. And goes down to 6th place. Lap 2 then. Ella Stevens trying to find a way through there in the number 28. Here comes Weston again down the inside. He's going to have the run into the Bruno chicane, but is there too much speed? No. Good control there from Jake Weston. Takes 6th place. But for Dan McKeown, all looking good at the moment. In control. Overtakes can be at a premium sometimes in the early stages of these races. I'll be quite happy to lead this one out. Ushijima a touch faster though, just closes into less than 0.2 of a second. In fact, Ushijima down the inside to take the lead of the race, and does take the lead of the race. He's going to have to defend as they come out of Stratford towards the Bruno chicane now, because back comes McKeown through into first place once more. Glenister has a little look for 2nd place, but has to slot back in behind the number 72, and Charlie Turner's on the scene now as well. The O-plate holder, currently fastest driver on the circuit, is definitely in the mix for this one. Less than 8 minutes to go on the clock. Good response there from McKeown after that attack from Ushijima. Knew it was coming as they went down to the first of the big hairpins. Made sure that he was getting a good exit on the way out. Harvey Ryby's going quickly as Ushijima goes down the inside again. Glenister's going to try and get involved once more. He's going to be side by side with McKeown for 2nd place. I think this time for Ushijima, he's going to have control of things. Yes, into the Bruno chicane, out of the Bruno chicane, new race leader. Glenister gave it a good go there to try and retake 2nd place. The straight line speed of the number 75 running very well here this weekend. Charlie Turner, an interested party at the back of this quartet at the moment. McKeown just has a half look as they go through Cafe Corner there and through Pitts Bend. Ella Stevens is currently the fastest driver on circuit. She's had a 44.860. This time Glenister down the inside of McKeown. Had a look at what Ushijima did the lap before and the lap before that. Learned from it. Takes 2nd place. And now it's going to be really hard work for Dan McKeown to get himself back into a rhythm. Has lost 2 positions in the last couple of laps. Surely that means that Charlie Turner is going to be having a think about his 3rd place when they next get round to the Stratford hairpin. That's the long, long run where the slipstream is at its greatest effect. Another new fastest lap of the race from Ella Stevens, 44.630. At the moment, Ushijima looking really comfortable at the front of this order in KZ2. Leads by 0.3 of a second. Glenister a touch wide through the initial part of Stratford. We've got a very good exit. More than enough to hold on to that 2nd place. There is Ella Stevens at the back of this group. There's a top 9 covered by less than 3 seconds at the moment. Harvey Ryby just ahead has also been setting some good lap times. Needs to find a way past Jake Weston though to get up to 6th place. 5.5 minutes to go, or just less than that on the clock. New fastest lap of the race from Ryby, completed up to 7th spot. Deep, there goes Ushijima! Makes the mistake completely unforced, and will lose not just 1st but 2nd and 3rd as well. Well, Ushijima, in fact, is now struggling to get it off there. Goes the number 71 of Ryby. So Harvey Ryby looks to be out of this race. Now, I wonder, for Ushijima, is there a problem? Because all of a sudden, it just looks like the number 72 cannot get the braking forces right into the slower corners. He's pushing on all the time, but that was quite a bizarre moment for Reese Ushijima, who looked in complete control of this race, and just like that is now off the podium. Just shows you how on edge these KZ2 karts are and how much the drivers have to push. And for James Glenister now, a brilliant opportunity has opened up here to take victory in the Shenington SuperPrix KZ2 category. 4 minutes to go on the clock. Got a bit of a gap to Charlie Turner behind. over start finish to go. It looks like Ushijima has now got things composed again. There's the pace like 44.86, not too far off the pace of the race leaders. Harvey Ryby confirmed has not come back round. That's a real shame for Harvey Ryby. He was on for a good result there, potentially a top 5, but the machinery not complying today. 3.5 minutes gone. Glenister just looking nice and comfortable at the moment. Stella Stevens trying to find a way past Nat Thomas there for 7th place. Into Wilkins once again to tick off another lap. This will be the completion of lap number 9. James Glenister leads this by 0.4 of a second. It seems to have very good traction off the slow speed corners, does James Glenister, which when he's in this situation will serve him well. It means he's not really under threat as they go into corners like Stratford, some of the main opportunities to overtake around this gearbox layout. Around 1.2 kilometres in length. If you compare the lap times, you consider that these cars are doing faster than some of the single gear senior karts that we've seen so far today, even though they're doing another 200 metres each lap. They really are very impressive pieces of kit to watch round this circuit, and the drivers piloting them are even more impressive if you ask me. 2.5 minutes to go. Nat Thomas has got past Jake Weston there, and Ella Stevens is now trying to find a way behind. Oh, now here's an opportunity for Charlie Turner, his closest that he's been so far to James Glenister as they run down to Stratford, but no, again the good speed for James Glenister out of the slow speed corners, coupled with decent top end, means that Charlie Turner is going to have to really pull something out of his deep talent bag to find a way past the leader of this race. Less than 2 minutes to go now. Glenister and Turner, I'd say, are starting to stretch things out here. Know each other very well, of course. What can Dan McKeon do there from P3? New fastest lap of the race from Ella Stevens once again, 44.510, and Ella has got past Jake Weston for 7th place. Is now going on the attack to try and take 6th place away from Nat Thomas. In fact, it's down the inside as they go into the Stratford hairpin. A couple of checks over the shoulders once again for Glenister and Turner. I just feel maybe for Charlie Turner that he's perhaps biding his time, waiting for the optimal opportunity for go on James Glenister, trying to save something in reserve for the last couple of laps. We're still a couple of laps away from that, of course. 55 seconds on the clock, so they'll have 2 more laps on time, plus the 1 lap afterwards. 3 laps to go. James Glenister continues to lead, but he's now going to have to go defensive down the inside into the first hairpin. Good drive off of the Stratford corner, but is now very much aware of Charlie Turner's speed and presence. This is backing it up, actually. McKeown's coming back into this, and Ushijima, previous leader of this race. As down the inside, Turner having a look there, shuts the door, does James Glenister. 2 laps to go. So we said that the overtakes at the front of these orders can be at a premium. But we saw earlier in the race, one simple mistake can completely change things. This is a race on a knife edge at the moment for all of these drivers at the front. Glenister defends into Stratford once again. Gets off the hairpin well. Will he be ticking off these jobs in his mind now, trying to keep that concentration level as high as possible? Keep Charlie Turner behind. Good line there as they enter through Wilkins. Final lap board is going to be out. Look, Derek Morgan's coming into this as well. It's had a very quiet race as Derek Morgan in the number 10. He's on for a top 5 here. Ella Stevens, the top 6 covered by a second here in the final in KZ2. Ushijima being attacked there by Derek Morgan as they go through Cafe Corner. Surely down into Stratford is one of Turner's best opportunities. But Glenister has got the line on the inside covered. Is there going to be a switchback there for Turner to be available? Glenister has controlled that very, very well. Bit of traffic ahead for the race leaders, but they shouldn't come into it. Glenister will have to defend into the Bruno chicane once again. Doesn't want to overcommit. Needs a good exit here, because surely Turner will have a go if there's an opportunity into Wilkins. They're going to be there in a half-second time. Has Glenister got this one? Just got to get on the loud pedal. James Glenister wins in KZ2 at the Shenington SuperPrix. A brilliant victory under huge pressure from Charlie Turner, but it's Glenister who emerges victorious once again. A truly brilliant run, very entertaining race. Third place goes to Dan McKeown, fourth to Rhys Ushijima, who looks understandably just body language in the kart a bit gutted. Would he have won that race? Such a shame for Ushijima. The end off the podium. Fifth place to Derek Morgan, Ella Stevens sixth, and with the fastest lap of the race I think as well for Ella Stevens. Nat Thomas seventh, Jake Weston eighth, Bo Phillips ninth, and Jamie Perry in 10th. We're going to take a quick break here on the commentary and have one of our interviews from yesterday from one of our sponsors.
Well, we're here with Heather from Vonius Broadband, who are one of the main sponsors of this year's Shenington SuperPrix. Heather, great to have you here at Shenington. How's your day been so far?
I mean, it's a bit wet, it's a bit wild, it's a bit windy, but you know what? It's been so good. Like, all the supporters have been having a good laugh. They've been helping us hold the marquee down, which has been fantastic. But no, it's been so good to get involved and kind of like see everyone racing around and everything like that. Like, we've really enjoyed being here.
How did the company first get involved? What was the first kind of interaction with Shenington as a club?
So we obviously are a rural broadband provider. Well, our office is actually back on to the racetrack. So we've been doing a lot of conversations with Graham and stuff like that. We're going to be serving him at his property as well. Going to be serving the race course as well with full fibre supremacists. So we kind of just said, do you want to come down, speak to people, just kind of get involved. So we were like, go for it. We like a good event, we do.
What's been your making of the event so far? And I say over 300 drivers here this weekend. It's quite an atmosphere.
It is. It's really good fun. And do you know what? The best bit, even when it tipped it down, was just literally us throwing ponchos at everyone, trying to keep them warm. But no, it's been really good. It's honestly been so good to be here and just kind of seeing the atmosphere, seeing them all race, everything like that. Especially our sponsored drivers as well. Has been so good to see.
The company itself, what's kind of the history of the company and how it came to be?
So we've been around predominantly rural broadband, so we've been around for about 10 years now, and we used to do a service called fixed wireless access, massive giant outdoor Wi-Fi. We've now kind of upgraded all that to full fibre supremacies. As I say, the offices are just behind us here, and we just keep growing and growing and growing, giving better and better service.
In terms of future going forward, do you think you're going to be more involved in clubs like this? Because I say kart clubs do tend to be rural, middle of nowhere.
Yeah, 100%. We want to get more involved in stuff like this. We do a lot of cricket stuff at the moment as well with the Village Cup that we sponsor. But stuff like this, we just want to get more and more involved in, meet more people, and just events are fun. Yeah.
And how can people check you out in terms of the company? Where do they go to get involved?
So if you go online to www.vonius.com, you can go on there, you can check us out, register your interest and stuff like that. So what we're saying to a lot of people today, even though we might not be in their area currently, go on, register, because the more people that show an interest in an area just means we can have a little look at it to see if it's actually viable for us to come out there as well. But check us out online.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for your time, Heather. Great to have you here, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
We will do. Thank you.
Well, we're here with Heather from Vonius Broadband.
Big thanks to Vonius and all their help this weekend. Time for our 210 national final. Another one of our gearbox categories running on the 1.2 kilometre layout. Very quick read down the grid as they're on their second formation lap. Lionel Seifleet starts on pole position. Dan Berry alongside on the front row. Dan Rawdon and Thomas Stone on row 2. Robert Perkins and Ray Sloan on row number 3. Stuart Henry and John Hutton start on row 4. Mark Shepherd and Sean Stoney start on row 5. Then row 6 we've got William Shelley and Neil Hancock. Tony Berry and Taylor Hancock start on row 7. Paul Fowler and David Scull on row 8. Michael Owen completes this 17 kart field here for the 210 National at the 2023 Shenington SuperPrix. for 10 minutes plus 1 lap. It just being formed, and so far this weekend it's been a perfect run for Lionel Seyfleet. Can it be another victory for the number 1 plate holder? Away we go for 10 minutes plus 1 lap, and it's immediately problems for the number 57 of Dan Rawdon. Didn't get a good start at all there from 3rd on the grid, and has lost 1, 2, maybe 3 positions, hand in the air. Yes, there are problems, I think, for Dan Rawdon. What a shame. But for Seyfleet, away at the front of the field, leading on the way down to Stratford for the first time. And as I say, 10 minutes plus 1 lap in this one. Plenty of experience in this field. Yeah, I really feel for Dan Rawdon. Qualified so well. 3rd place. Is he tapping at something, trying to will it to work almost, but yeah, that's not gone well for number 57 Kart. There's the number 2 of Dan Berry. I think Dan Berry's had a slight problem off the start as well, has lost 2nd place, so it's Robert Perkins. Robert Perkins from grid 5 up to 2nd place in the early phases of this one. Guttural tone of the 210 Nationals roaring round Shenington now. 0.6 of a second is the lead for Seyfleet. Great start as well for Paul Fowler. Kart number 59. Look out for Paul Fowler, because gained 5 positions on that first lap up to 4th place. There's the number 5 of Stuart Henry also trying to fight back. Lost out on 1 position at the start of this race, and has got past Ray Sloan there in the number 10. That's for at least 6th place. I'm just looking out for where Thomas Stone is all in this as well, in the number 8. It might be a bit further down the road. But Seyfleet leading. A bit of a challenge though from Robert Perkins. Perkins not too far behind. Half a second is the gap at the end of lap 2. Perkins is the fastest driver out on circuit, 52.09 at the moment. Indeed, Thomas Stone is still running, by the way, in the number 8 in 5th place. The 2 leaders. Karts look a bit more conventional in terms of the bodywork on these 210 Nationals to some of the other categories, but the rules and regulations quite open in this category as to how the karts are sat up. You'll see a number of the drivers like to be sat in a far more reclined position. It's a Formula Racing style seating position for aerodynamics. These 2 karts you see on our screen, almost in the middle between the conventional upright seating position and those fully reclined ones. But Lionel Seyfleet's under a bit of pressure here, and not said that a lot so far this weekend, but Robert Perkins is once again the fastest lap holder, 51.58, and only 0.2 of a second behind Paul Fowler there in the green livery number 59, 4th place at the moment, 4 seconds behind Dan Berry, who's had a decent start as well, is up to 3rd place. Lionel Seyfleet, of course, what he doesn't know about 210 National Racing isn't worth knowing about. Continues to lead this race. It's actually a touch quicker than Perkins on that last tour of the circuit, so maybe this is just a bit of race management from the reigning champion. Number 57 of Dan Rawdon, by the way, is still circulating, but a long way off the pace. Has just come past my commentary box window, pointing to allow the drivers to cycle through. Change for 10th place to report. Tony Berry has got past William Shelley for that position. So great work there from Tony. Number 9 past number 25. I'm just curious to see with Seyfleet whether he's having any troubles getting off the corners. Whether the drive and the power delivery is as smooth as he'd want it to be. It's okay through to the last corner coming on to the Park Straight, the start-finish straight. Perkins is not backing down here though, 52.15 last time around for the driver of the number 3 kart. 600ths quicker than Lionel Seyfleet through Stratford once again. Yeah, just see there's a bit of a a bobbing there from the number one. The power delivery in the lower gears is not quite as smooth, as progressive as the race leader would want. That was an underdeveloping issue there for Lionel Seifleet. New personal bests coming through. Mark Shepherd has just popped in a 56.84. He's currently sat in 9th place. William Shelley as well has also gone blue on the timing screen. live.alphatime.co.uk/SKRC. William Shelley 58.10. Big thanks to our sponsors in this category, which is the 210 National Drivers themselves. Great community of drivers, very supportive of one another. Drivers, numerous names on this list who've visited this particular event over the years. Fantastic supporters of the SuperPrix, and in some ways a bit of a handover between the historic revival that we saw earlier. If you missed it, you can watch that back later on here on the Alpha Live YouTube channel, and the newer karts as well. That's Stuart Henry going through the Bruno chicane. 6th place at the moment for Stuart. His best lap so far, a 53.87, so it's consistently on pace. High 53s, low 54s. So working the wheel there, trying to close down on Thomas Stone, the all-orange liveried kart just ahead in the number 8. 3.5 minutes of this race to go. Still Lionel Seifleet in control. In fact, now has started to really get into his stride. 52.0, as there's the number 57. I say Dan Rawdon is still continuing around the circuit. He's just got no power. Just no power at all. Very strange. So not that it's given up the ghost, it's just not got the power that he had earlier on in the day. Changed to 10th place once again. Looks like William Shelley has re-overtaken Tony Berry, so those two drivers have swapped positions. It might be, I think the number 9 has stopped out on circuit because I've not seen the number 9 come through for a while. Back with our race leaders though. Seifleet doing the job at the moment, and he won't mind if it's a smaller than normal victory. Just managing at the moment ahead of Robert Perkins and really putting the question over to his teammate to say, what have you got? What performance is there in the number 3 kart? Burrell out chassis. Personal best has just gone in from Paul Fowler, 53.77. Fastest lap of this race still with Perkins, and should remind as well that all fastest lap holders in finals receive trophies from Brian Ryman and his family. Once again, continued support of Shenington SuperPrix, absolutely fantastic, a real family affair here at Shenington, year after year. An event that's, of course, approaching its 25th anniversary, 25th running, I should say. 90 seconds to go here in the 210 National. One more race after this, of course, as well. We've got the X30 Senior final to complete. As there is the number 29 of Mark Shepherd, just pulling over to left-hand side, going off the lead lap. This will be a good opportunity now for Lionel Seifleet to really start to pull out a bit of a lead. Robert Perkins will have to push on to try and keep up with Seifleet through the traffic, and the risk with that is close proximity of karts. Heightens the risk, and Perkins does not want to lose this quite comfortable second place at the moment. Love to win the race, of course, but a second place trophy would do quite nicely all the same. Number 22, Sean Stonier in the red suit and white helmet. And there's number 2, Dan Berry. He's raced very well so far in this final. 8 seconds ahead of Paul Fowler. 2 laps to go then. Lionel Seifleet had to undergo a bit of pressure in the early stages of this race, but now is looking at a 2.78 second lead over Robert Perkins. 52.03 for Cyfleet last time around. Perkins now, without the aid of a toe, is into the low 53s. Heading up to the Bruno chicane then. Cyfleet can now start to enjoy this one. Such a strong driver in these 210 national events. He's been in this position before. We'll start to relax now. One more lap to go. Last lap board will be shown to the leader in about a moment's time. There it is. Across the line. 2.78 seconds. 3.6 seconds clear now of Perkins behind. Ray Sloan is between the two of them there in the number 10. Lionel Cyfleet will be another driver looking to complete a perfect weekend. Going to be 210 national champion once again. Just going to got to negotiate his way. That shows how competitive he is. Slightly frustrated there that Ray Sloan as a back marker doesn't at first get out of the way. I don't think that Ray did anything wrong there. Still keeping a good pace. But for Lionel Cyfleet, it really has been a special performance this weekend. Comes down to the final corner to win in the 210 national class. Take the trophy for this year's Shenington SuperPrix. Second for Robert Perkins. And will take the Brian Ryman trophy for fastest lap in a final. Dan Berry is going to come across the line. There Dan is in third place. Paul Fowler across the line in a few moments' time will be fourth. And indeed there is Paul Fowler in fourth. Fifth is going to go to Thomas Stone. Sixth, and the last of those on the lead lap is going to be the number 5 of Stuart Henry. Just waiting for Henry to come round the final corner. There across the line is the number 25 of William Shelley. There won't be any losses of positions for Stuart Henry if there has been a problem on the last lap. There hasn't been a problem on the last lap. There is Stuart Henry across the line in 6th. Ray Sloan 7th, 1 lap down ahead of Mark Shepard in 8th. Sean Stonier 9th and William Shelley 10th. Dan Rawdon, credit to Dan Rawdon, could have pulled that one in but finishes in 11th place. Obviously technical troubles slowing down his pace quite drastically, but finished the race, sees the checkered flag. One retirement in that race, which was Tony Berry in 12th. And with that, we've got one more race to go then. Let's switch back to the non-gearbox layout. X30 Senior are up next. Last race then for the 2023 Shenington SuperPrix, and this should be a good one. Caden McQueen has pole position for the X30 Senior final. Sam Shaw joins him on the front row of the grid. Carly Atkins and Sam Lewis go from row 2. Jack Nettleship and Luke Taylor go from row number 3. James Pashley and Michael Rapsey go from row number 4. Alex Duncan and Ewan Thomas complete the top 10 on row 5. Charlie Thompson and Alistair Cresswell go from row number 6. Louis Johnston-Cool and Marcus Littlewood start on row 7 ahead of Leon Frost and Adita Kulkarni on row 8. Simon Burlick and Jake Beidel start on row number 9. Isaac Marsh and Harry Maynard go from row 10. Lucas Wang and Archie White on row 11. Jack Collins and Marcus Carr on row 12. Michael Shin completes the 25 kart field. Away we go then for the final here at Shenington for the X30 Seniors. And it's a good start for Caden McQueen. Leads through the first couple of corners. Down. Shorter version now. Through they all go. 2, 3 wide in places through the order. Lots of experience in this category. One of the fastest, strongest categories in British karting. Which one of them are going to take the E-plate for 2023? A spirited start from McQueen. And how good his overtaking capabilities are. He's been racing through the Iame levels for many, many years. Now he's got to lead this one from the front. Carly Atkins has gone with in the early stages, so it's the top 2 out ahead of the rest of the field. So straight away challenge to those 3rd, 4th, 5th behind. Has a bit of a moment there. The number 11 being squeezed onto the grass. That's Ewan Thomas. I think he's lost quite a few positions, unfortunately, has Ewan Thomas. They all fight through the Bruno chicane, trying to get themselves organised all in there. Through Wilkins, where the front pack, number 93 being forced out. Well, that's Harry Maynard, who had gained positions in the early stages of this race. But he's going to have all that work to do, loses at least 1 spot through all of that. So Caden McQueen leads, Carly Atkins second, a second clear. Those two, Sam Lewis, who's a novice, is doing a great job there in 3rd. Jack Nettleship 4th, Sam Shaw in 5th, Rapsy, Taylor, Pashley, Thomas all in the top 10. Apologies for lack of timing graphics at the moment. We are having a bit of a problem at the circuit, but we'll keep you well informed across the course of this race. That's number 52 of James Pashley just going through your screen. He's about 8th place at the moment. Now I think we have got timing back, at least in the commentary box. We'll change this to reports for you. I'll keep an eye on Pashley because he's had a decent start in this race, getting another position down the inside there. Lovely move from Marcus Littlewood. He's had to fight a lot this weekend through the orders. Didn't have a good qualifying at all, and it's been putting in a lot of overtakes. But for a driver, I've got to say, has come on leaps and bounds from when I first saw Marcus racing 4 or 5 years ago. It's been very impressive to watch indeed. Good to watch as well. Caden McQueen starting to turn the pace up a bit. Just comes past my commentary box window. Probably half a second clear of Carly Atkins now. He's putting his stamp on things down the inside there. Goes the number 61 of Louis Johnston-Cool. Gains a spot. Oh, very, very big chop from the number 35 of Charlie Thompson. Does not want to lose position there to Leon Frost. Down the hanging straight go the majority of the field. And in fact, there is the number 50 down the inside. That's that. Apologies, that's Michael Rapsy going through past Charlie Thompson. The race getting into a rhythm now. Some 4 minutes gone of the 10. Still being controlled at the front by Caden McQueen, the number 50 there of Michael Rapsy, who must have lost extra. I think he was a bit further up the order earlier on. Number 35 down the inside. That's going through once again Charlie Thompson. Charlie Thompson up to 10th place. And Frost there in the number 59, the TWM colours. Would love a top 10 here this weekend. New fastest lap of the race has gone in from James Pashley, 42.03. Apologies for timing issues. We have got timing back in the box, but now we're having a couple of issues on the broadcast. We do apologise for that. Coming to things as well, number 93 of Harry Maynard. So well, we said how he had a good start and then lost a couple of positions at the end of lap number 1. Now it's starting to come back through. That's a lovely move down the inside of Michael Rapsy. Seems to be struggling a bit now, being overtaken quite a few times. Perhaps is struggling on tyres a touch, because drivers do play some of the tactics of how they use their tyres through these races. Gap growing at the front as well. Sam Lewis and Sam Shaw both working together, pulling away from Luke Taylor. Oh, lovely down the inside again. Great stuff from Harry Maynard. He's giving it his all in this race to try and get back into the top 10. Here's your fights for 5th place. Luke Taylor and James Pashley. James Pashley's all over the back of Taylor here. He's going to cut to the inside, going for a move into park. That is beautiful from James Pashley. Gains another spot. classic Pashley now will set about the two Sams up ahead in his pursuit for a podium spot. Sam Shaw and Sam Lewis heading up that second duo at the moment. With the time ticking away, we've had about a 6 1/4 minutes gone so far. There's a warning flag to Alistair Cresswell. Harry Maynard and Leon Frost have had warnings as well for various things from race control, just so you are aware, but no penalties. I'm glad to report at this stage. So there's your timing. McQueen from Atkins by a third of a second. They're about 2 seconds clear of Sam Shaw and Sam Lewis now, but again, I'd keep an eye on James Pashley here. Fastest driver out on circuit, only driver, I think, to break under the 42-second barrier now. 41.99 fastest lap so far from Pashley. There's a fight between the 75. That's over 8th place, Jack Nettleship and Marcus Littlewood. I'd say it's a fight at the moment. I think they're just... No, they're not going to work together, because down the inside goes Marcus Littlewood, right on cue, or not, and through into 8th place goes Marcus Littlewood. Next driver up the road is Louis Johnston-Cool. He's had a good race in the number 61. Gained another number of positions, solidly in the top 10 at the moment. 2.5 minutes to go. McQueen looking in control here. We've seen from a couple of our winners so far today, he's just had that ability to hold a leader, or someone chasing them as the leader, at an arm's length. 0.43 of a second between McQueen and Atkins at the last count. 2.25 minutes to go. What's Pashley doing? 42.12 last time around, another 42.1. He's closing in on Sam Lewis. He also seems to be pulling Luke Taylor along with him, because Luke Taylor's just done a PB, 42.14 here in this final. It's a contact warning as well for the number 11 of Ewan Thomas. Change for 20th place to report. Lucas Wang has got past Isaac Marsh. The leader's coming around to complete lap number 12 then here at Shenington. Last race of the day. Oh, lovely down the inside into Wilkins. That was a great move by Johnston-Cool. Up past Taylor into 6th place. And a very freshly liveried L&N kart there for Louis Johnston-Cool. To have a strong finish here in the latter stages of this race. James Pashley has closed in to Sam Lewis now. Lewis has been dropped, it would seem, by Sam Shaw. Maybe a bit tough now for James Pashley to get back into the top 3, given not a lot of time in this race to go. I think there's going to be 3 more laps, including this one that they've just started. There are your race leaders coming through Pitts Bend now. Caden McQueen hasn't got this one completely done yet, because Carly Atkins driving very, very well this weekend. 0.3 of a second has just pulled back in that gap that was threatening to completely go out from the front of the number 7. It's keeping McQueen very, very honest, and this one isn't done yet. Particularly if Carly Atkins, a smart driver, has saved something for the latter stages. 2 more laps to go. As you can see, there's a bit more time still on that clock. In fact, both of them identical lap times to the 100th of a second last time around. Shaw still there in 3rd place. Bit of a lonely 3rd place, but he won't mind that. I think there's been a change, has there, for 4th place. Did I just see that James Pashley had got ahead of Sam Lewis, or was that my eyes deceiving me? Yeah, no, I think that is the red and white of James Pashley through and past Sam Lewis indeed for 4th place. Needs to find a second to close in on this lap, plus 1 more. It's doable. Sam Shaw doesn't want to get too defensive. This driver doesn't want to get too defensive either. Caden McQueen. 1 lap to go then. Last lap of the last race of the day here in the X30 Senior Final. What can Carly Atkins do about the ever impressive Caden McQueen? Is it going to be another victory for Croc Promotions But it is going to be another win for Croc Promotions, but which driver is it going to be? Caden McQueen out of Stratford for the last time, through Bruno, taking such speed on entry. Both drivers very impressive indeed. Onto the back straight they go then, through Hanger, into the final couple of corners. Has McQueen got enough? Has he got it under control? He has got it under control. Punching out of the final corner. It is going to be close, but it's going to be Caden McQueen's day. And he takes the X30 Senior here at the 2023 Shenington SuperPrix, the last race of the day. Another victory in the fantastic karting career here in Britain for Caden McQueen. Wins in the end by 0.09 of a second ahead of Carly Atkins. Sam Shaw completes the top three. A spirited drive from James Pashley, and the fastest lap of the race finishes in fourth. Fifth and top novice was Sam Lewis. Sixth, Louis Johnston-Cool. Seventh for Luke Taylor. Eighth for Marcus Littlewood. Ninth for Jack Nettleship. And 10th for Charlie Thompson. Well, all of those results can be looked back through on results.alphatiming.co.uk/SKRC. But that does bring us to the end of racing here at Shenington for today. And a fantastic Shenington SuperPrix. There is the big marquee. We will be down there if you're here at the circuit in hopefully about half an hour's time, 45 minutes, for the trophy presentations. Do keep an ear out for any public address announcements for that. In terms of Alpha Live, they're back here next weekend, of course, for the British Kart Championships, so do definitely tune in for that. And if you've been new around here and you've not done so before, please do click that subscribe button on the YouTube channel and the thumbs up and the notification bell so you don't miss a single future broadcast. If you've enjoyed the commentary, my name's been Andrew Mather, at _MM across your various major social media networks. Thank you for your continued support of us, and thank you again to all the marshals, all their hard work here at the circuit. Thank you to all of our crew here today making your Alpha Live stream possible. Great show put on board by the whole team. Darren Hassan has been your producer. Luke Woodford on hand as well, setting up and doing a lot of the camera work yesterday for the interviews. If you missed any of the interviews as well, don't worry, they're going to be up online later on, I think after we go off the air here this evening. Also big thanks to all of our camera crew, as I say. Our camera ops, Matt Sear, Adam Chapman, Jonathan Morris and Slavak Pishkors have all been out on circuit for you today, bringing pictures from trackside. But we're going to wrap up there. Thank you everybody for a fantastic 2023 Shenington SuperPrix. Thank you for staying with us through the rain and the wind and the hail and everything else. Do have a very good journey home. If you're back here next weekend, we'll see you for British Kart Championships. Thank you for joining us here at the circuit. And for now, goodbye.